All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the Real Precious Network. We are back with another show of the Men's Forum right here on Wednesday nights. I hope everyone is doing well. When you come in, hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you know when we are live. Guys, how are you doing this evening?
I'm
Good. How you
fine.
doing?
Yep. Fine. How you doing? I'm glad you were able to get on because if I couldn't get my panel fixed, I would have been I was like, oh no, no. I said, let me help her. Yeah, yeah.
StreamYard was sending me some messages like where the high traffic, you're
Yep.
gonna have to wait.
That's what I got. I said, keep trying. Like you try to hit the lottery. Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah, and I actually think that's from their YouTube's monetization, where people are actually trying to get those watch hours in now. Because they changed the monetization standards coming in February next year. You got to have 8,000 watch hours. What's
Crazy.
going on? Agree to disagree? Hey, 18.
8,000 watch hours for just basic monetization.
It used to be four. Currently, is 4,000.
Right.
Yeah.
God, they're
Crazy
paying out too much
craziness.
money. They're paying out too much money.
Yeah, they want people to quit their jobs and come work for YouTube. That's what they want.
Mhm.
Um, and
They
people
give
are
me a
doing
couple brand deals.
Yeah, I got this thing in the mail about um affiliate marketing, but you know what? I have a phobia about clicking any links on anything.
it. Okay.
No, I can't. I don't care what it is. I gotta check you out, this and that. But it's cool. But I don't know.
I think everything is just nowadays is just so unsecure. Like even at
No
work,
doubt.
I got somebody's discharge paper sent to me, discharge from the military, and I'm like, how do I receive this? At my job that has nothing to do with the military. Like it was just like weird. And
Yeah,
then I have
yeah,
people telling me that they receiving fake emails from me. I'm like, IT
yeah.
department,
So yeah, it's all over the place.
I need y'all to help me out. Oh, we'll just kick you out. Kick me out. When I come back in here, the same thing might be happening. So yeah, I think right now a lot of things are just they're telling you to watch out for those links. They're telling you not to click certain things. And people are, I think they're really getting the older generation with that. So are saying stay vigilant.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
don't
it's
click on
funny.
no link unless I
Let
initiated
me
it.
tell you, I think that the younger people are more. They might be more savvy, but they're also more
Gullible.
uh, not gullible. What you call it? They're I forgot what the word is. That's the age coming in. It's a good word too. I mean, they're more prone to just go ahead and click something. I think.
hmm
I think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the old people,
Anyway, it's probably
we can't even turn on the machine, so we don't have no problem. My problem is I don't have any problem. I've been in technology my whole life, uh, but
yeah,
anyway,
y'all are the smart ones. Gotta
yeah, we've seen all the transitions, all of this kind of stuff. The only thing I'm mad at is I should be a multi-millionaire
mm,
because all the stuff that we just take for granted, I had a chance to just throw instead of chasing girls. I should have just threw $1,000 into all of these things. I'd be free. I'd be free.
yeah.
But I guess I had to spend 38 years, but I guess I'm free now. You know,
Yeah, I mean, being in the IT industry, like I don't click on anything. I don't accept anything. You
right,
know, I don't click on anything unless I actually initiate it and I know it's coming.
Hmm.
right.
But like if I, you know, open up Outlook right now, I got 20,000 emails of oh, click here to do this, or
Yeah,
you forgot to pay your bill and I didn't even sign up with
yeah,
Outlook.
yeah.
It's just spam. You know.
The guys are good at it too.
hmm
You know.
Yep, they really are. We have to go through those trainings all the time at work. Ninja. You ever heard of that? Y'all heard of it? Leon, you heard of Ninja?
No,
Mm-mm.
No? Oh.
Mm-mm.
don't have it.
It's just I like trainings that we have to go through at work to remind us not to, click this and phishing email this, and yeah. All right, guys. So we're gonna get started with the show. Thank you guys so much for joining. Fishing a Fit. Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday evening to you as well. I see agree to disagree in the chat as well. Thank you so much for being here. Definitely hit that like button, share, and subscribe. We're gonna get started with a video that I saw, just kind of a icebreaker, but I saw this concept that Oprah Winfrey was talking about, silently quitting marriages. And I don't have any of those videos queued. However, I do have them. Maybe we'll go over it more in depth in another show. But this video reminded me of it because she literally silently quitted her husband as a response of how he reacted to her. So we're going to get into this.
You see, not Oprah, somebody else.
No, someone else, but it reminded me of this segment that Oprah's doing. I don't know how recent it is, but I've been seeing a lot of content on Oprah, whatever network coming through.
Won't talk to me anymore. My wife, 31 female, and I, 46 male, have been together for 6 years, married for 2. She used to talk to me all the time. She used to share her day with me, just randomly tell me her thoughts, stuff like that. However, she also used to want to talk about problems we were having a lot. It felt like we were always talking about what I did wrong. She thought I spent too much time talking to exes. We were friends. I don't prioritize her over work. It's my career. Am I supposed to quit? And mostly that I didn't care enough about her. It was so many different ways that she came to that conclusion, but it was like we were always just sitting down for a serious talk. So I told her about a year ago that I didn't want to talk anymore. It's a good idea. So I told her about a year ago that I didn't want to talk anymore. I was just tired of hearing everything I was doing wrong. I provide everything we need. Can I just have a break? I told her that if she had a problem with the way I did things, then she could get out of my house and we'd get a divorce. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. She told me that she was trying to communicate because she didn't feel appreciated and that I had one foot out the door. But I think that's ridiculous. I know it's harsh, but I was at my wit's end. So now a year later, she barely talks to me at all. When I ask her about her day, she says, fine. When I talk to her about work or politics or my day, she says, oh, wow, cool, and walks away. Her attitude isn't bad. She's very sweet, but it's just like she doesn't care anymore. I didn't want to talk about her problems anymore, but I didn't mean stop talking, period. We really don't talk about anything that doesn't have to do with our life or household. In the evening, she just turns on the TV and we watch something until bed. Now, I don't know what to do because I just found out today that she won a pretty big award at her job and she didn't tell me. Last Friday, she said she had to work late and it was cool. I didn't ask. Today, I found out that she was really at a dinner where she was celebrated for this award. She invited some of her friends and her mom and her brothers. I ran into her brother at the store today and he mentioned the dinner and said that he was sorry I couldn't make it. I asked what he meant and he said at the dinner how I wasn't able to go because I was sick. I asked him to explain the whole thing to me, so now he knows too. What am I supposed to do? Is she punishing me or something? Do I tell her that I know? Why wouldn't she tell me? I didn't think she'd take it this far, and now I'm thinking she's being petty. Does anyone have experience here? I love my wife and I'd do anything for her, but I'm so confused. Edit, wow, a lot of comments. A couple people are asking about the exes. I have close contact with 3 of my exes. Oh wait, he says have. Wife brought up an issue with this. I would expect to see a had, but it's have. Close contact with 3 of my exes. My previous wife calls me when she needs to talk. Her and her husband don't get along. I have 2 ex-girlfriends who I'm still friends with, and I was friends with them when I met my wife now. My wife doesn't like them because she says they crossed boundaries, but honest to God, they are just friendly and we ended in good terms. It's nothing serious and I just don't want to give my friends up. Edit 2, you're right. Tried to talk to her last night. It didn't go well. I'll update later when I can get my thoughts together.
You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
Man, this guy crossed the
You're
room.
muted.
Am I?
No, I was.
Okay, what's going to say?
What's happening? I don't understand why you would have to call into a radio station or into a podcast to understand why your wife's not talking to you anymore. And I'm not saying that she's right for doing that, but sometimes you can't get through a brick wall, you know? And so when you're married, how do you overcome something like that?
Well, listen, he's in the position he's in. Unless you want to go first, Leon, he's in the position he is all of his doing. It's all of his. I mean, it's all his doing.
Mhm.
And I remember my wife always takes me like ring around a rosy when she tells me a story about anything. I just want to, she wants to tell me like she was going to go out. She went out with her girlfriends today. So you're going on a girl trip, and they're all 800 years old. So I'm not really worried about that. So she's going out to do a little day concert and stuff. But she says, well, she's giving me the full, other than just saying I'm going with my friend who I know and a couple of other ladies. They're going to drive down together to Weehawken or whatever. And before, when I was young in the marriage, I used to say, just get to the point. just give me, what it is. Why you going ring around the road? And then I noticed something, that this is the way she communicates. So I was going to take that away from her. And then I realized that I got to go ahead, and I always understood this, that even when I have girlfriends, you got to give them their 10,000 words. You got to give the women their 10,000 words. They talk more than us. So sometimes you got to just sit there and you go, that's where the, So you learn that. But I don't do that to her. But I stopped telling her to stop going around the rosy because now I think it's cute.
Just like hearing now.
I just let her go. And then, it's so funny when she realizes she's going around the rosy. She's like, then she'll get to the point. She said, now you feel better, don't you? I said, nah, I like to hear you talk. So this guy, he sound, a lot of things he was saying was really like poison. Even you can do that for a friend. First of all, I'm not even getting to the point that he's still dicking around with his exes. Okay? Because that's something no man would accept from their woman.
Nope.
Yeah, and my wife came. Yeah, I got 3 guys who were banging me out, but they're still good friends. I'm saying, you know what? Listen, that's just over right now, or you can stay with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he thinks that's cool. It's not cool, and that's probably one of the conversations we're gonna have later on. It's just not cool. And so, but I don't even think that's the major thing. I just for that hurt his wife, it might be, but that's just piled on top of the other things that he was doing. He's just not a good husband.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my opinion of him. Now she might have her flaws, but all her flaws was laid out where if he was the right kind of guy, she would have probably been willing to fix him because she wanted the conversation. And he was, you're bothering me. That's my take on it.
Yeah, we actually talked about this last night, and it's about communication. It's about how you actually communicate with people, and do they understand what you're communicating? And yeah, like, why are you still talking to people in your past? You have a wife for a reason. Like, why do you consistently talk to these other women? And I'm sure she has voiced her opinion in many different ways about how she did not like this. And he refused, it seemed like, to let a piece of his life go. He didn't want to, because they were quote unquote friends, whatever that means. But yeah, I'm sure she told him in many different ways, in many different conversations, about how she didn't like that. And, she probably in some way felt disrespected because he was going to them, or they was leaning on him, when these other individuals have partners already that they should be leaning into.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, talking to the ex-wife, the ex-girlfriends, like, why are you still connected to those people? You know what I mean? Why? And we don't know if there were still sexual connections there, but imagine, I couldn't imagine, like, if you're friends, okay, I could understand your friends, but you still have sexual history with one another.
Mm-hmm.
So not only do you have that type of history with one another, but now when I try to talk to you, you don't want to talk to me, but it's easy for you to just pick up your phone and talk to your ex-wife or talk to your ex-girlfriend. And that is an insult, a slap in the face to the person that you married.
No doubt. But just think about it. And he didn't even mention they had any kids, like he had any previous children, which would even give an excuse. It sounded like these was just women he was with before. Or else he might have mentioned, I share a kid with this woman, or I share a kid with that woman. So I'm assuming he don't have no kids with these women. And then when he mentioned that he talks to one of them about her husband, right? So now he's absorbing her emotional needs to satisfy her when he's got problems in the home. That's crazy. You know, I mean, that's what do you do? And here's the other thing. This is a man code. We really don't. I know women don't like this shit. We don't do all this stuff for women for free. You know, we don't do all this stuff for women for free. We don't. You know, shit, what are you talking about? You know, I mean, come on. You know, there's got to be, you know, so he's wrong. He's absolutely wrong because, you know, listen. You know, I mean, I understand if you know somebody at a distance and your acquaintances and your paths cross, that's one thing. But 3 girlfriends you're still in touch with, that's crazy.
And the ex-wife.
And that's like, yeah, my yeah, you know,
Now,
you would never accept from a woman, never.
Do you think things like this are detectable early on, or do you think that people get married and then a different person emerges out of them? Because I've heard both sides of this coin.
Well, it sounds like she knew for a long time. You know, it's true. I mean, let me just be real quick. I don't know what her vetting thing was, but it sounded like he didn't give up. I think she knew about these women, and she expected him not to. And the only thing I want to have is anecdotal stuff. I know when I first started courting my wife, you know, all of the conversations, all of the phone calls that she might have gotten who I didn't know who was on the other line, they just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just stopped, right? Because your people who call you really don't know who's there. So, and it didn't last long. Within a week or two, it was known, I got to take this, I got to take, all that shit was gone.
Mm-hmm.
It was gone, you know? So I felt real comfortable that she wasn't trying to play this game because she was on top of me all the time. God damn it. You know, so I mean, I got to keep this woman. Yeah, you know, shit. You know, so anyway, so I mean, those are the kind of things, you know, because I don't ask those kind of questions too much because I got to be able to sense that you're actually doing like that. I mean, I never asked my wife, well, how many lovers did you have? And all shit like that. I don't want to know.
Right.
I just want to know whether you could cleave and bond to me. And that was just, you know what? These forums, I got to get off these forums. I'm talking too much. You know, so because when I met my wife, she was at a party with this other guy, right? And every so often, she was at the party I met her at. And they had some kind of spat. I didn't know this at the time. Mm-hmm. And I said, listen, if it wasn't for me saving you from this guy, your life would be a living hell with this dude. I tease her on that, you know. And so they broke up that night, right? From what I understand. So I was just fooling around with her. I said, so how was he? I said just bullshit over the dinner time. So how was he? She said, she looked at me like I was crazy, man. This shit was funny as hell because you got to know my wife. She got such a sense of humor. I said, well, you know, you broke up with this guy, you know, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, how was it? Hey, my wife wanted to kick my ass for even bringing back the memories.
Yeah, like I didn't even answer that question.
And she was funny. I think she was shocked that I wouldn't even ask.
Yeah.
How was he, baby? I mean, I could play with my wife like that. I don't do it that often, but I thought it was funny. She said, yeah, you think that's funny, man.
Yeah, because, you know.
Yeah, so I'm, like I said, I'm a secure man.
Yeah, y'all say that. You know, y'all say that.
Yeah, she would have said, yeah, man. If she would have came back and said, yeah, man, he was slinging big donkey. Is that what you want to hear?
Right. Like, what exactly do you want to hear in this moment?
It sounds more, in the moment, it was funny as hell. At least I laughed my ass.
Yeah. You could joke about taking her away, but you can't ask all the nitty gritty details.
Well, that was in general because I never asked her when we were caught in any of this thing. So this is like 38 years in. I just thought I'd throw that shit across the table and see how she would act. Yeah, so she looked at me like I was crazy, and I love it.
You was trying to get a rise out of her.
Right.
She gets on my case.
Taking it up.
Gets on my case for that all the time. She said, listen, Dad, I know how fragile your ego is, so I'm not going to go there. She said, if I tell you, you might be a broken man. We in this too long. So you don't need to know. Oh, man. So
yeah, this guy, he has to, it's what do you want more? Do you want your family or do you just want some frivolous conversation, with your exes? And I think
let me ask you a question, Pressure. You think the fact that he still has an exes is the worst thing that he's doing? You know what I'm saying?
Honestly,
it's a laundry
able to talk to his wife. If he was able to talk to his, you can't be deficient in an area and then have exes or whoever you're talking to, you're deficient in that area. Like, if you're gonna talk, nigga, talk to all of us. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't even know that you're talking to them. Like, if you're going to do it, like, you know what I mean? Of course, I wouldn't want you to do that, but if you're going to do it, let it be who you are with all of us. Like, don't give them special treatment. And I'm your wife. Like,
absolutely. But so I thought he was going to say they were divorced. So it sounded like they were still married, and she was just giving them the treatment.
But like I said, that alludes to these videos I've been seeing with Oprah, who are saying that people are silently quitting within the marriage because they don't want to go through the headache of a divorce. They don't want to pay for it. They don't want to split the family up. So they stay silent in their marriage and they go along to get along.
So we could say they're not having sex. We could assume that they're not having sex with each other.
I mean, if she ain't talking to him, she ain't giving it to him.
Well, my woman don't have to talk to me for us to have sex. I mean, sometimes silent sex is the best. Just do what you gotta do, baby.
Yeah, but but
it doesn't seem like they don't have. It doesn't seem that they have that intimacy, right? Not the one,
right? Yeah, there's definitely no intimacy. He's not trying to, and he feels as though every time they sit down to have these serious conversations, that she's telling him things that he's doing wrong, and it's not necessarily. Women are here to help men. So, we're going to see your blind spots, or we're going to look for ways to assist and be of help. And if you're looking at that as, oh, well, she just wants to tell me what I'm doing wrong all the time, then I guess you just have this fixed mindset of this is who you're going to be for the rest of the relationship. And so when you make that very clear and evident to her and say, I don't want to talk, she takes that as, okay, well, I'm not going to talk to you then. If that's the kind of some people are matter of factly, like
it's true.
Took it as I don't want to talk, so he's not going to talk to her anymore. And she took it as, well, if you don't want to talk to me anymore, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. And then she gets this, wins this award or is recognized at work.
That's deep.
And you don't even tell your husband, yet her brother sees you in a supermarket and says, yeah, man, it was an awesome time. Sorry you were sick. And you're looking at him like, sick?
What are you talking about?
Like, I ain't been sick in 20 years.
Look, I can't talk to my exes. What you mean? I wasn't sick. What's going on? It's
so their marriage is over, pretty much. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about women, right? And I think women don't really pick up on this. And I've been married for a long time. I think sometimes women could just be there, do stuff, movements, stuff like that kind of turns you on. Don't matter what's going on. If my wife just happens to be taking her hair out to comb it, and the way she does, I'm saying, her hands up and her hair's all falling. I'm starting to growl a little bit. And shit. If she lays down on the couch, sometimes, and the little thigh is showing, she don't mean it. She's just laying around, feet's out and stuff. So I'm looking at this, oh man, should I try to cash this check that I got right now? I'm telling you, women do this shit to men without even knowing it. So even if I'm mad at you or we're not going together, just your everyday moving around the crib and we still together, I'm gonna find something sexual about it. The way you walk down the stairs, the way you hold her, I don't care, man. You know,
I don't know. I don't. I think that's
but we're different than women.
right.
We're different than women.
But this man ain't finding nothing sexy about his wife. He's, you know what I mean. He's
That's his fault. That's his fault.
He's finding an outlet, and I think that once you've done that, it's hard to go to a therapist and say, "What can I do to get him to stop talking to his exes?"
It's something there. It's just his fault. Yeah.
So,
And I wonder did she know like about them before they even started? If he was like, "Hey, I got 3-4 women that I talk to, they my friends, and we also used to date, and one of them's my ex-wife. Do you have a problem with that?" Like, I think.
How does he hide the ex-wife though?
Burner phone?
No, I mean, I'm saying without her knowing that he had an ex-wife.
right.
So
Yeah, she had to know he had an ex-wife. But she did talk. She said that she talked to him about, him texting them. And, as a man, if you're not going to take that serious, you're not going to take the relationship serious. If you feel as though it's okay for you to do things like that and not necessarily have those conversations, those tough conversations, because obviously your wife is not worth you not talking to.
The only problem I have with the skit, though, is a little bit too exaggerated on how he looks like an idiot. There was no balance in it. He's asking these questions on this live stream, and he's saying all kinds of stuff that unless you are purposely obtuse, just your words should be able to tell you where you're making your mistakes.
Right. That's why after we watched the video and I was on mute, I'm like, I don't understand how he's not understanding.
That's I know. Even if it was a skit, they're trying to was like use a hyperbole to get a point across on a bad way you can handle things. And maybe that's not what they were doing, but that's what I was taking in, and I'm just running with it because at every turn, this guy sounded like an idiot to me. Right.
And unfortunately, sometimes women deal with men just like that. They will tell them what is on their mind. They will tell them, what is bothering them, the things that are hindering the relationship for them in the relationship. And guys will be like, I don't want to hear that.
But they divorced them. That's what the point is. They divorced them. Those are the kind of women that divorce, man. All right. We can't have an 80%, 70, 80% women divorce rate. With a woman in this modern era putting up with that crap, they leave.
Or are they silently quitting their marriage and they stay and they're just not happily married?
Yeah.
Because we talk about the divorce rate being very high and we talk about women initiating divorces, but I think there are men who quietly quit their marriages as well.
No, I don't disagree with that, but a woman usually don't have the modern woman. I don't think has a tolerance for that anymore. That's why they get so much. That's why the divorce rate's so high. At least part of it, right? I mean, they're divorcing what they call good men now. So I can't imagine a woman staying with that kind of guy, especially if she has any kind of je ne sais quoi left. And so I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. But, I'm surprised that she would actually put up with it because nobody would fault her for leaving and taking half her shit on the way out.
Well, I think in the beginning they said that they were together for
6 years and then 2 years married. They were hanging out with each other for 6 years, I think married for 2 or something like that. Maybe the opposite. I don't know.
Right. So with that being said, this is a woman, like you said, she ain't got no more je ne sais quoi. Okay, she's one of those women that's like, I gave him everything. I gave him my all.
In 8 years? In 8 years, get out of here.
And then they settle for the relationship that they are in because they probably figured time because of that clock,
Right.
It's like, you know, where am I? How, am I going to find another relationship where I'm going to, you know, like the guy? And because it's not like women, like, you know, I know that women divorce at a high rate, but it's not like women don't come in. Some women know, because I feel like all, you know, most women know what they're walking into, but they do walk into it liking the man, being into that man, you know, really feeling him. So
I think a coach is saying just maybe
you mean a little bit? They don't really do that. Only a small percentage.
words.
How y'all doing?
What's up, Coach Ferg?
Yeah, why don't you let the seat get warm first, Coach, before you break it? You know
I'll say a small percentage of less than half like the man coming in. They like what he can do for them because even if you say, I say if 10%, 75% are still filing for divorce. Why? Because the man, typically men are the same unless he's listen, if he's cheating, he's been cheating before you. You came in as the side chick. I mean, that's who he is. But most men, once they get a wife, they, you know, it's something. And listen, a sleazebag is a sleazebag. Your friends know him. People know him. He probably sleeping with your best friend. You know what I'm saying? But most men, they do value a marriage if they standing up in front of that damn preacher and say, I do. You're like, okay, I want to be a good husband. You know, at least try to go in and provide for the house and things like that. Women, you ain't really like them. Because people got to face their own life. Like, they don't really like the dude. And the dudes wants a dude, because everybody grows in the marriage. And sometimes, you know, because even men, they still don't file for divorce like that. Your wife had to be doing some slutty shit out there to file for divorce. Arguing with a woman, you're like, all right, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
And I hear you when you say, you know, men, they not really filing for divorce. But I think, and this is just my opinion, I think that when men commit to marriage and when that does, they don't want to fail at it either.
That's true.
Just like a lot of things in their lives, a career, a hobby, you know, but something such as marriage, especially a man who is going to 90% of the time make a family with this woman as well. They don't want to fail at the idea of not being successful in the marriage. Sometimes I feel like that has nothing to do with the woman.
But the woman is the focus of the marriage.
That has everything to do with.
Explain that. Go ahead.
Well, it has everything to do with not failing, right? Like as a man, you're not going to want to fail. And then if you take on something as serious and as huge and as big as marriage, including other people in your family, including, you know, you're marrying your wife's family and just integrating everyone into one, right? After you do that, you don't want to be looked at as a failure.
Yeah, but the woman has everything to do. The woman has everything to do with that.
Yes,
because like I said, I've failed tests before, and some of them I can forget the day after. Mm-hmm. But if I have a test with a woman that I thought that I vetted to the utmost, and she up and says, you know what, it was good while it lasted, but you had your turn. It was a long, and now your turn's over. Mm-hmm. I failed, but that F is bright red. If that F ain't the same kind of F.
I know.
Yeah, that's a gorilla F.
I know.
But it has everything to do with the woman.
Right.
Yes, it has something to do with the woman, but at the end of the day, men's egos are fragile. They are.
Okay. And a woman telling you suck now
as it pertains to a woman,
it's a pretty big ego breaker.
But what I'm saying is it starts out as I'm not happy with X, Y, and Z. I feel as though this and that can get better. Can we sit down and have a talk about this?
Precious, help me understand. If a man commits to a family, right? Because let's just say, because there's levels to it, right? If you ain't got no kids, y'all commit to each other, then y'all shouldn't have no problem focusing on me time with each other, Netflix and chill. If your asses got jobs, you Netflix and chilling damn Sunday night through Saturday night. We might go out on Friday, Saturday to a dinner, a little lounge, but 10, 12 o'clock, our asses at home. So if we got kids, right, the man's coming to a woman with kids, because that's a hell of a responsibility, right? He's at least expecting some. The woman should be given enough to the man to make his home a peaceful place, right? And man, when they go into space, well, you will know if a man really is into you if he's trying to bring order into the space that you in. He's going to try to be orderly. He's going to want to have things, and it's not going to go timely as you plan it, but it's still you're going to get the same sort of results as it goes through. And I think women, my modern family of women, they think more about what it is that you're going to give to me instead of the kids, the family unit, the house. It's more about what am I happy with when I wake up? I want a bag today. But I want a $1,200 bag, even though the kids need slow ass shoes and the school coming up, and the water heater need fixing. They're stuck in what they want in the moment, and then they'll blame the man because he's trying to work to fix the problem instead of just fixing what somebody feel like they deserve in that position. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but.
You're not wrong, but
I'm trying to. Most men want that fact. I'll shut up. And I ain't gonna say most men.
There's some superficial things,
but a man wants to protect the whole fucking yard, not just.
But there's some superficial things too, right? Yeah. That when men, they say we are supposed to be in charge of relationships and shit like that. But when we talk about marriage, one of the things is we finally get to a point where we see a woman that we want to settle down with. And settle down for us doesn't mean the same bullshit that it means to women.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. So settle down to us means that we've arrived at a crossroads in our life. That we saw this woman and we're going to make a vow to her that, okay, I'm going to forsake all the good trim I could possibly get for you.
Yes.
And not only that, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that we could build a future together, family and all that. And so that's what I'm trying to say. I think that is lost in the translation because people don't hear that. People don't give a shit what the way or how men view things. The whole world is about how women view shit.
Yeah, it is.
And a lot of women can't get past how they see it to see how we see it. So when we get into marriage, we ain't leaving, not only because we don't like failure. We don't want to say that I made the bad choice either.
Why? Why don't you want to say that?
Well, that's for the same reason. That part is where you're correct. We don't want to say it, but the only thing I could disagree with you, but it still has everything to do with the woman.
Well, okay.
So it's not that it's her fault.
I feel like it's a secondary reason, really, because if you don't want to say that you chose wrong, because I think this could be a lot of men.
Eventually, you will. You will have to because the woman's going to.
Because she's gonna let you go.
Yeah, she's gonna let you go. But the point is, men don't like to. But like you said, we don't like to admit failure.
Yeah, we want to admit.
But we're gonna try to get. Well, we like to fix things too.
Yeah.
So if I have a broken, so if I have
that man in that video.
No, not him. Not him. His wife is giving him a break. I'm surprised she's still there. That's what I said. I'm surprised she's still there because that kind of adjective most women don't put up with these days.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like I said, we see the world differently, and men generally stay in marriages that are broken because one, they don't like to see failure, but they also they don't like to lose their children. Because family courts give the children to the mother, even if she don't deserve it, and everything, and not the financial. Listen, I just saw an expose of how Tiana Taylor pretty much sexually assaulted, marriagely assaulted Iman Shumpert. This guy was his career was over. She took
Yeah, she took
$25
everything.
million from this guy,
Yeah, she took all
and
this
he
shit.
barely had $2 million left to live on.
Yeah.
And I
Took
don't
all
know what. First of all, I don't know what kind of lawyer he had.
Yeah, it was some
This
bullshit.
lawyer had to be terrible because that don't make no sense, you know. But that's what she did to him, and she's on the internet now talking about he's not protecting her.
Yeah, sounds dumb as hell.
It sounds dumb.
Dumb as hell.
What the hell is going on?
Look how you didn't protect him. You didn't protect your kid.
I'm gonna shut up here. Here's why it's hard to be a man. I actually feel the pain of men who get screwed like that.
No, Frank said he feel the
I
pain.
feel the pain. It's making me like I want a red pill rage for these guys.
Yeah, I know you do. I get
You know what I'm saying? But I can't do it because that's not my life, because I've been a simp my whole marriage. I said, baby, baby, please. You know what I'm saying? But nah, not really.
Yeah.
I just happen to get blessed. Because
Right.
my wife,
and honestly, our parent, I don't think you give yourself enough credit either, because we've been doing this for some years now, right?
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
You really listen to our pain. You listen to what he did as a man to prepare for his wife. So yes, you were blessed, but you also did the work as a man to be able to give and for your wife to be able to receive from you. And so that's why it works. You know what I mean? And so it takes both parties putting the work in. And she was a wife. She was, I don't know if I can say women are born wives, but when you saw her, she was a wife. Right? Enough for you to wife her up. So, you can't, I know that men like to, I'm gonna get them brownie points tonight because she, but at the end of the day, you got to give yourself credit too, because not a lot of men take that sabbatical from having sex. And so that desire to want to have multiple women is still there, even that you love. You know what I mean?
Like, needed to. What we talking about?
I mean, a lot of men need to, but they don't want to. They don't want to admit that.
A lot of men need to
do it.
Yeah.
Because that desire, they're not.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that, Precious. I really do.
Yeah, I'm paying him to give himself
one of the things I have is I got stories. I mean, the night I met my wife, I might have said this. The party was in a cul-de-sac in a place that it was Scotch Plains. Mm-hmm. And I'd never been there before. And I was coming from Orange. I had lost a contact lens.
Oh, shit.
I couldn't, and it's dark. I couldn't see the signs. I couldn't see shit there to get there. So somehow I stumbled upon this party. And I couldn't wear my glasses because they were like this thick, right? So I couldn't wear them at the party. So I'm in the party with one contact lens on.
Dang.
I didn't tell none of this shit till afterwards, And so I felt it was like some kind of thing just drew me to that party, because I knew about the party because her friend worked with me, but I had forgotten about it. But I said, there's something I should be doing tonight. And that's holy shit, is a party. And so when I got in my car, I had to drive. It must have been I was in East Orange.
Dang.
To drive to Scotch Plains. So I said, let me get in the car. Let me get out of here. Put on my whatever. And it took me. I'm saying, I'm rolling. I mean, on the street side. If you don't know anything about Scotch Plains, there's no lights in a lot of these places. So the street signs are like. So I found a party. It was the worst party I've ever been to. It was my wife, her friend.
The best party.
It was my wife, her friend, maybe another girl, and 800 dudes.
Dang. But you was the man, though.
You went and got what you needed.
But that's what led up to my day. When I saw her, I just said, I said whatever I said to her. But so to me, when I look back on that, it was like kind of because I'm a heathen, but I think I have a little bit of spirituality left.
It's in there somewhere. You're fine.
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah, it came out.
And so there was just like divine intervention, because that night when I met her, we never stopped talking after that.
Yeah, that's how it was.
We never stopped talking after that. So I mean, it was good. So I mean, I like to tell stories. And me and she sees things the same way I see. I know I don't want to. Even when I told you guys, when I asked her around 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, I said, "Do you want to be my girl?" She said, "Well, I thought I already was."
Yeah.
And the reason why
that a lot of men don't do, right? It's like, okay,
yeah, but the reason I'm gonna shut up here. The reason why it was better than her just saying yes, when she said, "I thought I already was," because she was already assuming the role.
Yeah.
Until I asked, if she would have just said yes, then it might have been like ambiguous whether she thought to him. But she said, I thought I already was. I looked at her and said, yeah, you pretty much
Yeah,
are.
you don't know who I am, man. I'm paying out these streets.
Yeah, man, let me tell you, man, I was never this. I'm not that cool. I just not.
Our game don't be. Y'all gotta see the tape from '87. Y'all gotta see.
Yeah, I'll pay.
Roll the tape.
He was in a fraternity. Don't let our pain fool you.
Our thing was a young cat out here.
No.
Right?
He was in a fraternity. He was in college in a frat.
Right.
I left so much on it. I left so much
So
on it.
those stories are going to be in the vault.
Yeah,
Right.
they're in the vault.
So you know, I think there's something about like college. Like I'm glad that I lived the college life because there's nothing in my adult life that I feel like I'm missing because I had that freedom of college life. You really, not necessarily find yourself, but it's the step before really being out in the real world. And so you kind of get to move in a way of being aware of your surroundings and knowing who you could talk to and knowing who you could trust. And I think in college, it just is a good time for young adults to be able to have that type of freedom, just so when you get out in the real world, it's like, and I think that our pain did it right. Like you were in a fraternity, you went to your parties, you had your times with the woman, and then it's like you put all that away, right? Like that's done. I'm into a new chapter in my life. But a lot of people like to bring those old chapters into the new chapters.
Exactly. For me, it was all a learning thing. It was all part of learning. And like I always say on these channels, that for me, I try to absorb all of my experiences.
Right.
That's good.
I try to absorb them.
For me, Precious, if I had the authority to make a change in that transition from 18 to 21, I would every young man graduating high school would go serve 2 years in the military.
Or that too. I think college or the military. I think
but women, it's because everybody wouldn't want to go to college. I would give them some form of life skills training away from their parent.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because that's when you can see the cream of the crop rise and separate. Young adults can separate. I would take my top learners in school. Okay, you gotta so you go into college, and then at some point, if say you try college and you realize that wasn't it, then you can either go to the military, or if you was in the military, you did a couple of years. Then if you wanted to go to college that way, that capacity, because those people seem to find each other. I know more so people find each other in the military than they do college. Especially for us, because college for us, some reason, is just to have fun and think about your career as being a sensational, independent person and not building that family. But a lot of people, when they go in the military, for some reason, whether they end up being divorced, they typically can find somebody to marry. In a sense, it's just a different environment, but both are allowed to expand upon career choices. Because the military gonna make sure you're successful.
Right. That's what we're gonna say. If you in the military, you better find somebody because you're already on your career path. So most people in college.
Not really in the military.
Yeah, but you're it's almost like you're signing on the dotted line that you will be successful, like you said. Like you're on the track to success. As long as you keep going, you're on that track to success. Some types of freedoms, you're working for our country, but at the end of the day, you still get to explore and travel and see things that you just don't see be at your local PWI or your HBCU. You just don't. So, you're on a road. Someone is more enticed to be joined with you because that's probably going to be a part of their life as well in some capacity. Whereas in college, you broke. You don't know, like, the end of that 4 years, you can turn into a whole crackhead. Who knows? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who knows? So, pick wisely, guys.
I don't think most college graduates end up smoking dope. It's them dudes.
Saying, you know what I mean? You're not watched. You're not disciplined.
The pressures of money. The difference is the pressures of money are not there.
Right.
Military, you don't have the pressure of money because you know you're going to get your pay. There's opportunity for promotion before the age of 21. You could be in a position of leadership.
Being an adult in the military.
Yeah, you sort of
from an 18-year-old into an adult. In college, you can still frolic as a kid.
Yeah, you can still frolic.
Yeah, you can't frolic like that in the military.
And so it'd be interesting to see going forward because y'all gonna stay single forever. Y'all going at 25 and 35 and 45 as single to the dirt. Y'all gonna return back to the dirt as single people.
We came in this joint single. What's
Lord, see, there we go, right there. There we go. I'm gonna find somebody over winter time.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I'm gonna find somebody. I need to come to a wedding from somebody from YouTube in 27. Somebody.
So we just have to put a feel out there to some handsome dude and say, listen, man, what are you doing, man? Because I know this lady, we call her Precious.
That's how they used to do it back in the day. We've gotten away from that.
Her name is Precious.
But we're gonna bring it back, Precious.
That should tell you everything you need to know.
There you go.
Right? Who is that? But then again, now we got to put our credibility on the line. We put this guy, and he turns out to be a cupcake, then we can never live.
Yeah, he'd be a cupcake.
We can't get. Listen, man, if you talk to this chick, man, you better come correct because I don't know my name is on the line.
That's what we got to find, the whole cupcake.
Oh gosh! All right, so I'm going to R-Pain. Are you still down to read?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I don't know if you guys follow.
If I sound like a third grader, you gotta forgive me. I can't see.
You got both your contacts in, don't you?
Yeah, I got both my contacts in. I think I can read the bubble. I'll get to it, man.
There is a content creator on Instagram. I believe it's a he on Instagram, TikTok. You can find them all over there. Black Tunes, but he makes black cartoons with real issues. All right, hold on now. All right, there we go. So he makes cartoons with real relational issues, and I thought this one was interesting. So I'm gonna start, and R-Pain, you just fall right on in. All right, R-Pain, are you there?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, just making sure. All right. Hey, babe, I think I'm gonna take that job.
You mean the one you said that's gonna stress you out, having you all tired and depressed?
Yeah, but that salary though.
Jazz, you don't have to put yourself through all of that for the money. I make enough. Let me take care of you.
That's sweet, but no, we're not going to do all that.
What? Why not?
I just want to make sure that I'm able to provide for myself.
Okay, but aren't we in this together? You don't have to do everything by yourself, especially overworking yourself.
Yes, I know I don't have to do everything myself with you. I just need to know that I can.
Or is that mine or yours? I think you got it. I think you got the first part.
That's you.
Is it? Okay, it's me. Okay. Life is crazy. It's unpredictable.
That's going to her. The pink is him.
Yeah, it's pink is me. I think that one goes to you, and then I get the
Oh,
pink.
life is crazy. It's unpredictable. You never know what could happen to me, you, or us.
What are you saying? You think we aren't gonna make it? We're literally about to move in together soon.
Bing, bing, flags.
I mean, even if we're married, that doesn't mean I stop being prepared as an individual. I didn't say you can't do anything for me. I just don't ever want to be in a position where I need you to. That's just how I was raised.
I don't ever want to I don't ever want to need you is not something I want to hear from the woman I'm trying to build a life with. I think that's you.
No, wait. See, you're taking it the wrong way.
How am I supposed to take it? We can talk about this later. I just need some air.
All right. So,
Hey, shit, man! I graduated to the fourth grade. The fourth goddamn grade. I did all right.
you did good.
Thank you.
So what do you guys think? There's a promotion at the job. She goes to him and she goes, look, I think I'm going to take this promotion. And he is telling her all the reasons why she shouldn't. Is he right in his response to her, or do they need to talk about it a little bit more when he's done getting some air?
I think they need to talk about it some more, because what we as men can do, women can't do from a work standpoint. Like, we can work depending on the job, but like if you're working 14, 15 hours a day and you come home, you're still, the guy is still going to have some expectation for you to do something. I'm not saying, have a full course meal, but he is going to expect some quality time. He is going to expect you to, of course, you're going to tell him about your day. He's got to listen, right? So he's got to be able to understand. But if he has his things together, like she don't need to work, but she's going to work. That's really what she's making it sound like. And I think they need to discuss it more.
Yeah, I mean, she's already working, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she needs to work in this economy, but taking this new promotion is now going to put her at more hours. And in exchange for that, she's looking at the money that she's going to have.
Mm-hmm.
However, in exchange for those money and hours, that takes her away from her family. So most men are not going to want that. Most men are not going to, you'll have men that's like, oh yeah, I'm supportive. And if that's what you want to do, and then a year later, they're like, I never see my wife. She's always working. We don't spend quality time. So, I think that is definitely an issue. And honestly, as a woman, how can I say that? How can I say this? I think that women should work. Okay. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't think that women should work. However, I think that women also are people who give birth, right? Follow me here. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a child. I think that a lot of women are intuitive and they should put their strengths in whatever their natural God gifts are. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be able to make a living off of that right away. It may take years. However, I think that that's what women should be focusing on as the extra, if that's what they want to do and they want to bring more money in the house. Because working for and the husband being able to facilitate that and manage that over however many years or whatever plan that you guys come up with. Because I always say, like, okay, like when you get married, yes, a woman works, but you also have to pretty much give me something to do if you don't want me to. And most times that's kids, it's, nurturing and cooking and cleaning, but I think we are capable of more than that. And there are a lot of successful women who make sure their family eat, but they're also able to bring in supplemental income where they're not necessarily going outside the house, where they're not having to sit in somebody's office or travel on a company's dime and be across the country while dad is fending for the kids for a week, so I think that there's nothing wrong with her wanting to make more money, but we're gonna have to there has to be a conversation on how that look, babe, what you good at? The Lord said use your hands and what's in your house. Why you guys sit at them people job for however many more hours?
Mm-hmm.
If it's a $20,000 raise, whatever it is, look, we're gonna have to figure it out.
So, Coach, you going first? What?
Man, I was just listening, man, because listen, and I was thinking about this video, right? It's interesting, right? She's already expressed that it's going to stress her out. Because most black people, y'all niggas don't want to be in charge. Y'all just want to go do your little job and get off at 5:30. Because I got other shit to do. When they start talking about supervisors and all that, no, I don't want to be no supervisor. But then you think about it. If you have children, you got to think about their ages, where they are. Is it worth your money that you're going to get to buy more junk that you ain't going to invest in the slow kids education? You ain't taking them on no family vacations. You ain't doing the good stuff that your children can benefit from it. And then you're putting, because apparently they're not living together. They just boyfriend and girl. Yeah, you go work all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't volunteering to take care of you unless you want to be in my space together. I've never volunteered to take care of a woman. Well, no, go work. Because when you working, I'm going to be doing me in my own spot. I ain't living with you in a spot and you working all day, come home, you're mad about stuff. I don't want to hear about your job. Are we eating? You know what I'm saying? Can I whoop your kids when they start talking stupid? Not even whoop them. Can I just snatch all that shit out of their room and be like, you sleep on the floor? Can I do the military stuff that I need to do? And I don't know. I've dated women with kids. We talked about job. I used to ask them, do you think you can handle that stress? And sometimes they'd be like, yeah. I said, well, you got to really think about those things because you got your babies and you know what I'm saying? You might have to pick them up and you can't rely on other people because the more money you make, the more responsibility you're going to have. Mm-hmm. Right now, you get off at 3:30. Slow kids ain't even home from school. You get home. But if you take his other position now, it's 5:30. Who's picking them up? Because I ain't picking their ass up. I ain't doing it. Because one, I ain't got authority to do what I need to do for them. I ain't talking about buying them shit because I ain't buying them nothing. Because I used to always tell a woman, did a baby daddy pay child support? Because I'm not the child support. But I will make sure we eat and we got plenty of groceries and all our household needs are taken care of. I'm that, yes, but sometimes they put themselves through unnecessary stress. And you got a man that's willing to step in and say, hey, then at least if it's going cool, do that. If he's proven that he's responsible, allow him to be in that space. But it could be some things that could be temporary also. If you're trying to go from apartment to a house and, you know, maybe we can make some adjustments part-time, but I wouldn't recommend nobody doing it if they don't have full autonomy to control that house.
Yeah, because once she say yes to the boss, they're saying yes to the boss, right? And I think a lot of women think that they can make these decisions on their own and the man got to either get with it or get lost when that's not how it goes. You might as well just stay single. You know what I mean? Stay single, make your money and keep it moving. But when you expect a man, a lot of times men don't like when you change the plan, right? I'm sure that they have spoken about this, and I'm sure that it's not his first time hearing about it. Like he said, what you mean? The job that you said is going to stress you out? The one we were just talking about last week? How did you make the decision that now you're going to, is this coming from a scarcity mindset? Did you not have enough when you were growing up? I think that's, when you're in a relationship, you have to make each other feel secure in that way. And for some reason, she doesn't feel secure.
Well, she got that from her mother. And she got that from generations of women telling them that stuff, telling her that. Listen, okay, so they're not married, right? So my thing is, I would let her go ahead and do what she has to do.
Yeah.
Personally, I would say if we're just still trying to vet it, if she thinks because her overriding thing is that she doesn't want to be caught out there because she doesn't trust that he may be there forever. She don't trust him. She's hearing the shit he's saying, but her single mother and grandmother heard that same shit, and they got caught out there, and they told her never get caught out there. So as a man, you got to account for that. You got to account for that with the modern women. You just do. That's why when I hear guys talking about if I'm gonna get married, we got to have one pot. I wasn't hard over for that shit, man. My wife, because the same shit her mother told her. Don't get caught out there. Have some of your own. Blah blah blah. And I said I'm not gonna fight against that. I said, but here's the program. Here's the program. And it accomplished all of that kind of stuff. Here's the program. I said, listen, you're making your own money. We're gonna get together. We're gonna live at what I could afford. Mm-hmm. And here's what you're gonna do with your money. Right? You're gonna max out your 401k plan, right? You're not gonna bitch and moan that we can't buy the amenities because it's just my thing. And whatever you have left, here's how much you need to put in a communal pot. And whatever you have left, whatever this private goddamn going thing you have, I don't care about. As long as you're doing what you say you're going to. And to me, that's the compromise. Listen, as long as you do your part for the family, I got the rest. And if you can't, I swear, I don't know where I got this shit from. Okay. It's not even just in retrospect, but that's exactly how we set it up. So when we started having kids, and my wife had spent 4 years with no job at all, we were still able to maintain a full house, a new house, cars, and all that kind of stuff. I was juggling all that shit. I was saying to this guy, you call me again, I'm not even putting your bill in the hat. And this and that. And so we figured it out until she started working again. And so that's the conversation you have to have. Now, I really don't have any problem with what she says because she wants to feel secure. And if she's living in the modern era, which this thing, let's say this cartoon is in the modern era, she has so many receipts that says that I don't care what you say. Yeah, I might love you and all this shit, but if you leave me and I haven't worked for 10 years, my ass is up shit's creek. Your child support ain't going to fix that shit or whatever you have. I got to be prepared for the world, right? And so I don't have any problem with what she said. Now, it's up to him to be able to use that to his benefit, for whatever they're trying to build. Because as long as she can get her way, in terms of feeling secure, he should be clever enough without his ego getting in the way and say, okay, honey, go get that job. Go get this shit. You're going to stress your ass out. And I'm going to tell you, I don't want you bringing that home. You're going to have to be able to take that stress. But here's what you should do with your money so you can feel more secure. And we could do all that. That's how I would deal with it. Mm-hmm. Right? That's how I would do it.
I mean, it sounds like I hear what you're saying. You probably put a pause on living together, right? Because would you still want to live with her?
No, that would be part of the deal. If you're going to take this high-powered job, we could live together as long as you don't think all the extra money you could just frolic with and buy Birkin bags and and all that kind of stuff. You know, and if we're gonna live together in a place that where it takes both of our salaries
Mhm.
or just mine, that's what I would prefer. But she might want to have more. I said, well, then you're gonna have to contribute. See, this whole notion about 50-50, that's a new thing. Black women and black men, most of society, women have been working for years, man. This whole notion that women don't work and men pay all the bills, that's newfangled bullshit. That's
Yeah,
really
that's that 1920 talk.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah.
not even.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody
yeah.
works, you know. And
In
I
1960, I think in 1960, only 32% of men in general, not just black men. So black men was a lot less. Only 32% of men was able to pay for a full household by themselves.
Facts.
That was in the 60s.
You're right. Facts.
copy
You know,
5% now.
So if you're talking about black people, forget about it. Black women.
Yeah.
When was it a time where women didn't work?
Never. Never.
You
They
know,
clean
so
white
people-
women's house. I'm sorry.
So I hear all these black women on these panels saying, "I want a guy like that." What are you talking about?
They ain't never had seen that
It's
shit.
like 5% of men could do all of that shit, especially in this guy, and you want that kind of guy, and then you're mad if you're sharing a man.
Yeah, it sounds
If you
dumb.
want that guy, he's banging you out and 6 other women.
And they know it too.
You know,
That's
and
poor
just
people's
shut up.
medicine.
You know, so I'm just saying, I'm sitting back here as an old fart. I got to make my own music because I can't listen to the shit that's going on today. And I hear all these people on these panels saying, you got to be out of your mind. Here's the real problem. A lot of these women are on panels with men and they never get challenged.
Mm.
They never get challenged. Never. I say, golly, man. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, the panel that I was on, they was getting challenged. Huh?
Oh, you're talking about, I'm talking about some of those real fun, you know, those gay channels where they got a gay man over there sitting down there talking to
Yeah.
oh girl, you know.
Yeah.
That's 100%, man.
When she said, "I just want to make sure that I'm able to provide for myself,"
By itself.
it makes me believe, you know, like, how old are you and how long have you been on your own? Because I do believe that women should be able to take care of themselves, as, you know, citizens in this world that work and pay bills, and you know what I mean? And so this makes me believe that maybe she's never done that before. Like, are you living at home? Like, what exactly is the situation?
She's always had a man. She's always had a man.
What does that say? That sentence doesn't say she always had a man.
No, but people she attractive women, dudes will pay for them as soon as they get out of the house. A lot of women move out as teenagers, right?
Let's stay on point with
She
this.
wanted for herself.
This
That's what I'm saying.
no, she wants to be able to provide for us.
Right, for herself. What have you been doing between 21 and 31?
Hold on, but say, okay, maybe me and you are looking at that sentence. I don't find anything negative in what she just said. He says, you know, why not? She said, listen, no matter, I might love you, I might want to be with you, but I want to know that I can survive without you. You know, and a lot of men say, I got this need to be needed. But I think he's misreading what she's saying.
But
because
the words
listen, I'm just saying that high-powered women get married once in a while to guys that they love. They don't need anybody no more, but they dedicate themselves to their family. You know, rich women do get married to men who make money, you know, and they still have their own because they know something going on. I think the purpose of a man in a relationship like that is to redo some of that and say she needs to be secure 2 ways. To be able to secure herself, and for me to build a trust that she could trust me, that I could secure her regardless. And I think that's what's missing. If you get your ego in the way, I think people will misunderstand what she's saying.
But I think, why is she not already in this position though? That's the thing.
What you mean already?
To take her the position to take care of herself already. She should already be in that position.
She can't evolve.
No.
She just got asked for. She just got a promotion. Right?
But she ain't. No, but she's not. She's not looking at him as a long-term provider.
No, I disagree. I think we just.
I want something for myself.
She says, "I want to be able to take care of myself."
No, you taking care of the family, and that's what we're trying to do. Not yourself.
They're not married. They're
kids.
They are deciding to move in.
Well, she has children. She has children.
So she could be moving from her parents' house into this house with this man, and she could be thinking, you know,
did I misread it? Does she have children? Do they have children?
That's not in there.
So that's what I'm saying. I mean, listen, I take it that you're saying she's getting promoted, so it seems to me she has a job already.
Yeah, she's been working, so she.
Okay, so my point really is that she wants to still climb a little bit of the corporate ladder to more secure herself. But if I'm a guy having to deal with her, if I'm a man, listen, every man is not dealing with a broke woman with no ambition. If I have a woman with ambition and stuff like that, and we're simpatico, she's not telling him she doesn't want him. She's not telling him she don't want to be in a relationship with him. She's just saying, even in that umbrella that you want to build, I want to be able to handle myself. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't. I just don't, because I'm gonna shut up after this. Because if she's willing to still live under the umbrella I cast, I just have to cast a bigger umbrella that takes her mindset into account. Because I don't see anything ego crushing about what she said. I really don't. I just don't.
I see it because she's already saying I'm separating mine from yours, bro. That's what she's saying. I'm gonna get money for me, myself. He's saying, listen, I want to take care of you. I want you to be. No, nigga, I'm gonna take care of myself. That's the way I think you said it. That's the way my mama taught me. That's the way my grandmama taught me. That's the way I always have my own and don't rely on no man. That's where she's at. That's where she's at.
That's what her mother told her, that always have your own, and there's nothing wrong with that. But of course, she's willing. Because most women, let me say it this way:
if she had the choice between the relationship,
most modern women who have their own don't even want to put up with a man at all. They want to be independent completely. This guy,
but what they saying is
his response. Let me just say this: his response is that his ego is bruised because she won't let him take care of her fully. And I think that's the wrong place to be as a goddamn man.
I wouldn't even be in that relationship, because what she's saying is, when I get this promotion, nigga, you're going to be beneath me. And I want my money. I'm going to get my money. I get it. If he's talking future together, she's talking about take care of myself. Your ass is an adult. You should already know that you can take care of yourself or can't. Now, I get it. Living at home, right?
He's telling her to sacrifice a promotion.
But she's already said, listen, all money ain't good money.
No.
You coming home stressed. I'll paint. She coming home stressed. She ain't giving up that monkey because she's crying about work. He's trying to get. It's too many variables there.
Or coach, she coming home stressed, and I go ahead and start rubbing her feet and telling her, listen, baby, come over here and let me.
No, it ain't like that. Now you acquiescing to her because your feet hurt too. You've been wearing boots all day.
No, coach. If she coming home stressed, it's from this job. Everyone
that I told her not to take.
Hold on now. This is my fantasy for her, right? She come home stressed. That's my opportunity to calm her ass down and get and just relieve her. Sex is a great stress reliever. It's one of the best stress relievers in the world. And if she's that kind of woman, I'd be stress relieving her. She'll go back to the boss and shit the next day, all bubbly and shit, after I'm finished. And then she could, she'll come back, and that shit'll take her for maybe probably a week or so. before she gets stressed out again. And then I'll say, come on, let me go to
Is our pain done?
I mean, come
Is pain
on,
done?
man. What's wrong
Will
with
our
you
pain wake up, please? Will our pain wake up?
They may just be at two different points in their lives, right? And sometimes you have to look at the reality of things and not what you desire or fantasy, like our pain is saying, right? The reality is maybe she's never lived on her own before,
Right.
and she has this boyfriend, and they're probably great to one another, and they talked about moving in. But then she has this promotion, and it's like, okay, I actually am able to live on my own. So I think it's very courageous for women to go out there and do it on their own. I'm not saying that they should do it that way for life, but you should want a woman who says, you know what, I know that you're here and I know that you can do this, but I want to see if I can do this on my own as well. As a woman, just as a individual, like, let's not even put woman on it, honestly, because every individual should know how to take care of themselves. They should know how to pay bills. They should know how to get up and cook for themselves. They should know how to do all of those things. I don't know. I see it both ways, honestly, but I think that there are two different points where if he seemed like he ready to commit his life with someone, right? And she's trying to figure out if she can work this probably corporate America job,
independent,
and be
okay. Yeah, that's right. You're right, though, Precious. So part of the conversation y'all have is, listen, how long do you want to put up with this stuff?
Yeah, is there a plan?
If we're going to be together, right? I want you to climb corporate ladder, but if you want to have a relationship, like she sounds, she likes, we want to get married. If we want to have kids, what does that do to this? No, how much money do you need to feel protected? How much experience do you need?
How much would it take to buy you out? How much would it take? How much would it take, Precious, for the family, for the unit? We coming in. How much would it take for somebody to buy you out of the workforce?
Well, kind of what I'm saying.
You have enough time. It's like, no, I'm just kidding.
No, how much would it take?
I don't know
for the unit, not for your self-independence and your hair and nails, to buy you out of the workforce. How much would it take?
It's all trust. It's trust in that man.
Right. And that's the only thing that she's gonna have to.
How much would it take? How much would it take?
No, it's how much money and how much agita do you want to put up with for the next 5 years? But it depends on how old they are. Are you close to geriatric? Do you want children? If the answer is yes, if her answer is yes, eventually, then that's another conversation.
Right.
How much will it take to buy you out?
Coach, this is all the coach.
Honestly, I don't know, because all I know is how to work. So you're going to have to really say, put it down. You ain't got to go back.
But apparently she's working. She's just looking for a promotion because she's looking at the money aspect, but she's already expressed the stressors that come with the job.
The person,
right? But stressors come with every job.
But but she's expressed that though. So if you're expressing it, that means her emotions are going to override the job.
Honesty is making you upset.
I mean, what does she really owe him? What does he really owe her?
Nothing. I would let her go work her little job and stay in my own little spot where I'm at, and she stay where she's at. I wouldn't, because once she get together.
I think nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, because they're not in the same wavelength. Like they're not.
Yeah.
They're not. Yeah, he wants something else, and she want to be. She want to be a boss babe.
She wants him. He wants her to be a kept woman, and she don't want to be kept. I mean, listen.
And I don't think there's anything wrong. Again, I don't think that.
You didn't let me finish. I don't think there's anything wrong with her not wanting to be a kept woman. Now he has to get either if he wants that particular woman, because I don't see her saying I reject you as a man. She's just saying we could have this relationship. I'm not going anywhere, but I want to be able to accomplish something. without you being an ego stroke, this whole notion that a man needs to know he's needed by a woman. Let me tell you, every woman doesn't need a man until she does. You know, and they always do. You know, and you know what I'm saying? And it's one of those kind of oxymorons kind of thing. Listen, women look at us as utilities. I remember when I was younger, my aunt was my guardian. I used to talk to her a little bit. When she got tired of me, she said, get out of here and just go make yourself useful. You know, and that whole thing sticks because that's what men have to do is make ourselves useful. And that's period. That's all that shit is. So she's not rejecting him. She just wants to be able to say, I accomplished something and I could be with you, but I know that I'm confident enough to survive in this world. If you die, if you leave, if you do this, I don't see anything wrong with that. I just don't. I mean,
she's setting it up. She's setting the stage early. I get it though. She's setting the stage early, right? Because again,
I'm glad we disagree with each other first, because some people think we fix these things when we get together.
No.
You know, we agree so much.
I can see
I'm glad we disagree.
As people grow, okay, I would assume her living condition, I don't know who she lived with. Now I'm gonna say her parents, right? So she's looking to mature a little bit. And you know, when you living with your parents, you expect them to pay all the bills, right? You got a little job, but I can see where she's looking to get more money for what? Are you looking at me and you being in a futuristic family setting? Then I agree. Go work, stack that damn money. And when it's time for us to get these kids a house, we get us a little 3-bedroom with a basement. Give me my man cave. You can fix that shit up how you want. Let's do that. But taking on that stress that you've already expressed, because when niggas start expressing their feelings about the stresses, going in thinking that you can fix that is going to be a bad situation because you're trying to fix it and they're focusing on the stress. It's a bad time when you're in the same space because you still got the house you got to think of. Who go clean up? Who go feed the kids because he's playing his role?
They don't have no kids.
But okay, so we want to have kids, don't we? Because most people that play house.
But when it's time for kids, that's another negotiation.
But I'm not quitting my job. I'm not quitting my job. I make good money.
To the scenario, they don't have no.
But what I'm saying is, he looking at it in that capacity. I'll say this and I shut up, brother. Don't move in with her. Let her go be Miss Independent.
The only thing I heard from this guy
don't move in.
He wants her to rely on him.
Well, no, that ain't what he's saying. He's saying
he takes it personal that she's not being. She's just reread this shit, man.
We're in this together.
No. He's mad that
you don't have to do anything by yourself.
He wants to be able to be independent. Listen, I don't understand why it's a big deal for a woman to have an ambition and have a love life at the same goddamn time.
Well, you got to ask them, not me.
Well, no, I'm just throwing it out there, man. I mean, listen, it's up to the man to be able to say, listen, you don't lose control because your wife has ambition. Because
no, you don't.
Get that shit right. You don't. You only lose control if you're willing to give it away. Because the next thing is, if you want this corporate job and you want to be with me, then let's set some ground rules. Let's set some ground rules. And if you agree with those, then cool, we can move forward. If you're not, then maybe we're not compatible. But to tell a woman, I want you to be some fucking pauper because I could take care of you is crazy.
No. Why you have to go?
It is.
Why you have to go outside?
Well, do you want us to be with you for your money or not?
What are you saying?
You want me to be with you for your money, for your ego?
No. We're in this together? What I'm saying is, okay, so again, I don't believe in shacking up, so I wouldn't do it if I was him. I would agree, let her get her position, but she's already expressed that it's a stressful situation that she's going into. And women don't take stress well when it comes to other people. They do not. And I wouldn't want her to be coming home, bringing that nasty mess to me about work. I just got out of work. I'm trying to relax and things. I don't want to talk about work and the people at work and how they made you feel. We still got to eat.
Yeah, but
Who's
that's
gonna cook?
in regular relationships.
But
though.
coach, can we compromise? Can we compromise? Let me
Yeah, we
compromise.
compromise.
Let me compromise a little bit with you, right? She wants to do this thing, and the stress starts getting to her, right? And the stress starts getting to her, and it's getting to her. I said, listen, and then we're talking. We're still in a relationship. Well, I would ask you, is the extra money worth the stress you're going through?
Yeah,
I would ask her, well, hold
question to
on.
ask.
Because I have too many stories. I really do. Because my wife had a job that stressed her out. I told her, you got to quit this shit. I told her that. It took her a couple of weeks. I told her, you got to quit this job. Not because I'm some kind of boss. It's because I couldn't solve the problem with her and her boss. I said, I can't solve this shit. You're driving me freaking crazy. Get the hell out of that job.
But
You know,
I'm paying.
hey, well, hold on. It took her a while to do it because she was still attached to this thing because this is money, this is that. And I said, listen, I got you. But
I'm
you,
paying.
I said, well, hold on, no RP pay me. I told her, you got to get out of that job because you're driving
I'm
me
paying.
crazy. You're
See?
driving me crazy. Not driving
I'm
you.
paying.
So this is exactly what he
Have any
could
plans
do.
to resign? Excuse me. Let me tell you something. Get Dr. Newsom.
RP what? Go ahead, Coach Ray. RP
I'm
what?
paying. Listen, man. One, it's a wife. It's a difference between a wife and a girlfriend, right? If you're already in it, she's looking at things from a point of view that just in case your ass ain't around, I'm already setting up my play. And again, there's nothing wrong with work. Yes, work.
Isn't it better that she's not your wife, though? Isn't he in a better position?
And that's why I say stay in your own little spot, dude. Let her stay where she's at. Go
Right.
take that stressful ass job.
Right.
And when
No.
she start, that's all I'm saying. Don't go in that space with her. And now you trying to come home and
you're
hey,
saying, okay, listen, if you take
Yeah.
that job, we got to have separate living accommodations.
yeah, I would just have the conversation because
have the
what are you getting? What do you need that little extra money for?
I
What are we
wouldn't
gonna
I
do
wouldn't say
with
that.
it?
I wouldn't say that to her.
No. But that's why I wouldn't even go into that space with her because
But
she's
yeah,
brilliant.
the point is, that's different than saying
I
why
would
do you
just
take the
avoid
extra
it.
money?
I
I said,
would
listen, if we're gonna have a relationship, we can't take it to the next level if you're taking this job that stresses you out.
Yeah, but I think
that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
but okay, so 63-year-old and 25-year-old, they're not having the same mindsets.
No, hell with the mindset. If
They
they want
not.
to be together,
I want my money. I need my money for me.
Yeah,
I got to have my money out paying. You
Okay.
can't tell me not to work.
No. I'm not saying that's why you're the one saying she shouldn't go for it. I'm saying she should. But I'm agreeing with you that if I can't handle that, we just won't meld ourselves yet.
Right.
And that's but I would tell her that, and then she would have a decision to make.
But that's what I'm saying. You would have the conversation.
Yeah.
A lot of these younger guys and they're not having those conversations.
You had the conversation even if you're young. You keep putting
He'll do whatever.
You're putting an age limit on intentionality.
Because he'll do whatever he can to keep her around.
Those cartoons we read, let's say they were modern times.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay,
He'll
so
do whatever he
he had a
can.
position, and she had a position. He didn't like her position, but his rationale was based on ego. It wasn't based on what you're talking about. It was just based on pure ego.
But he's looking to take care of her. He's looking.
Well, suppose you got.
And that's where he's going wrong at. He's trying to go into a position that based off what she's trying to do, would not mesh with his life.
Exactly.
That wouldn't mesh. So that's why I say just stay separate.
She doesn't want to be taken care of.
Right. She don't want to be taken. She wants to have her own independence. So when it comes down to anything financial, because the messaging from the modern women is, girl, you got to have your own. Don't rely on no little slow ass dude. and that's where he'll put himself in a bad situation. If she's telling you that, you no longer fight that. You let her get her job.
To the point where she trusts him.
You stay in your own place, get your 1-bedroom apartment in town, buy a townhome because that can build equity.
Don't buy no damn townhouse.
Well, I'm just saying, it's better than living in an apartment for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So
we ain't talking about 20 years. Man.
But I'm just saying, if you're a single person, you don't need all that.
Yeah, you don't need no.
Men have to understand too that women are receivers, and if a woman is not receiving you, then you have to note that. If a woman is not receiving you, which she's naturally born to do, then you have to cut your losses, because you'll always be you'll always be looking for her to receive you as a man and the things that you can offer and the things that you want to give her. And there's probably another girl just ready to do that already.
Right.
Yeah, they'll always be in a battle.
If you want a kept woman, there's no shortage of women out there who want to be kept.
They'll always be in a battle.
There's no short about, go ahead, Leon, go ahead.
They'll always be in a battle. Like this just to start. When
maybe.
Hold on. Hear me out.
Yeah.
They talking about moving in together. Are they moving in based on what she want or based on what he want?
What do you want?
And she talking about getting a raise or salary increase. Is she gonna be the leader in that aspect? Is like, well, since I got a raise, we'll get the house I want, not the house that you want. There's always going to be a battle. The house is just, the salary is just the one thing. Like what just look down the line, like how many arguments they'll actually get into over little things and big things. Like what is it going to be next? Is it going to be a car that she wants and, he's going to tell her no and she's going to go do it anyway? Like, you don't really need to be with somebody like that. Like
So we're saying,
thankfully he's not married to her. He can walk away and with nothing happens.
Man, that's your fault, Precious, because whatever I read, I misread the whole thing. I misread the whole thing. Because I can't imagine that I'm gonna walk away from a woman who has ambition just because I want to be in full control of her. That's just crazy to me. It really is. I don't know what you guys are talking about. She sounds like even if we don't get together right away, all the stuff that she says is negotiation point. Hey, listen, you're gonna go get this stressful job. We can't take this to the next level because I want to know how that plays out. That's fair. That's fair. Mm-hmm. And she says, listen, I don't want to lose you. Okay, fine. You ain't losing me. I'm just saying we can't go to the next level because you're taking this job. And at some point, we're going to have to understand that, that we're going to build this family together. And you're the one who's going to lose time on the job, not me.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to do that, then maybe we can go past go. Right?
But or you could do like a trial run, like we're not gonna move in together.
What's a trial run mean? What do you mean by trial run? Moving, but you can't move in by trial.
No, you cut me off and you're not letting me finish.
No, I'm asking.
I'm trying to tell you.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It could still be together, and he could see how she handles those stress levels. Like, is she gonna be a pain in the ass? Like, just move on. Like, it's no. And if she doesn't want to receive that position because she wants to pursue her career, then what it is. There's plenty of other women out here that's, like Ferg said, there's plenty of other women out here that's ready to accept what he is offering. She's just not the one.
Yeah.
Well, that's a possibility. Or she's just a one and it's just not time yet. Because I still don't buy the thing that the only way that makes a woman willing, good enough to be with is because she wants to be completely dependent on you. I think that's crazy. I really do. I don't agree with that. I maybe because I have two daughters, I want them to be able to be self-sufficient in the world they have to live in, and still find husbands to cover them. So if if one of my daughters came home with a guy and says, "Yeah, I wanted to quit a job and I just want to live off of my salary so I can take care of her," I'm not going to be down with that. I'm not. I might not have any say because she got to make her own decision. I want, I want her to be able to navigate the world, whether she has this dude or not. And that's the way the new world is. Why am I 100 fucking years old saying that? Women are saying that already. Back in my day, that might not be true, but my wife had a pretty good job back in 1987. So I'm just saying it's not intimidating to have a woman with ambition if she's willing to be under your umbrella. That's the key.
Coach Ferg, if you had a daughter, would you be okay with her just moving in with the guy who said he would cover her?
No.
So why you kicking my ass?
Hold up. I don't believe in shacking up, so I wouldn't want my son to move in.
That's what she asking.
If I had a daughter, no, don't move in with a guy. I would say no. Don't move in anyway, because I would have that conversation. I would let them know you're not moving in together unless y'all get married. Y'all can sleep over, but ain't nobody.
Is that what you're asking though? Is she's talking about moving with a guy if she can't take care of herself? He's taking care of everything.
But if I got an adult daughter, I hope her ass gonna be working anyway.
Why are we arguing over this?
I'm just saying. But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about she's working, but she's already expressed. No. It's not about the ambition. Maybe this job is not right for her. I'm not. She can go.
On who? Based on him.
Based on what she's saying, it'll already stress me out. You know ahead of time that something is a red flag, and you intentionally go into that red flag after getting the advice, like, you know what, just sit back, not right now, and you do it. Who you think she gonna complain to? You ain't listening to me. I told your ass don't do that shit. Well, but now this is my fault. No, you had already expressed it. Is all I'm saying. I'm not saying no work. Matter of fact, baby, won't you go and apply for this other little job? You can work. It's less stress on you. You can make good money. Let's do that. But bring all that money home. Don't be getting that shit so you can all of a sudden find fake Lucci and Ducci. Put that shit over in our little savings.
Yeah, less stressful.
And we can get out of this. We can get out of this apartment when our lease is up, and we can go do some things. That's all I'm saying.
No. Okay, we're in violent.
I don't believe in shacking up. Nobody. Don't.
No, forget about shacking up. But the point really is, I hear you when she talked about stress. I didn't take it the same way you guys.
But that's what she said.
Yeah, because she said stress. But
the job that already stressed you out.
You guys are talking about. You use her word stress as if she's going to be on a damn goddamn defibrillator. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, every promotion you get is going to be a little bit more expected of you to get the extra money.
Have any of y'all ever had a black supervisor?
So what?
A black supervisor.
What about the black supervisor?
Have you ever had one?
Once.
If it's a woman, if it's a woman,
a couple times.
If it's a man.
Was the black
a couple times.
Okay, let's say a woman specifically.
No, I have had women.
I have
before.
You have, Arpane? You have?
Yeah. I've had women supervising.
They tend to take on the stress of the job, and it shows. It shows in a lot of who they are when they start taking on the stress of the job.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And Arpane, our year of woman and man is different. These people today are not as emotionally strong about that. They will express that shit on the job that they don't like your ass. That's what's showing it, and that's what affect the house because these people.
But they don't have a house though.
But that's what I'm saying. Even in their apartment, he wants to move in together.
Well, she doesn't want to be a cat. If the conditions for them moving in,
so move on.
If the conditions for them to move in is for her not to get into a better job position, then they shouldn't get together. That's not. I don't think that's a fair condition.
But she has a job, though.
No. You're adding that it's not good enough for her.
Right.
You know, she's got an opportunity. You're not offering me. Listen, if you would have said, let's get married, let's get engaged, and this is what we're going to do, If you're just talking about we're gonna shack up, you're asking me to commit to you, forego a promotion just because you want to dick around at a higher level.
Yeah, but that's
not a good deal.
But that's
No,
where
he's not.
that's,
If he would have
that's
said,
where
if he would have got down on one knee and offered her an engagement ring for marriage, then he got a chance to make that kind of demand. But if you just saying we're gonna shack up, you don't got no juice to tell her not to take a promotion.
But that's why I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't be for my child to go and shack up unless he's already committed to you as being a husband.
That changes the conversation. Though.
But yeah, if you're single, get a job.
He didn't offer her marriage.
That's where he's messing up.
He didn't offer her marriage.
Right.
Right?
That's where he's messing up.
He said to her, "Don't take this job. Just come and move in with me. And let's see what happens."
But that's where he's messing up.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what we're arguing about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying he shouldn't be trying to move in with her. No.
Well, no. He shouldn't be trying to tell her not to pursue her dreams if he ain't gonna ask her to marry him.
Right, and we ain't moving in together until we see you get this job, and we. No. You keep saying moving together. I'm not gonna get engaged with you. I'm not gonna. She's saying to him, "You can't ask me to move in with you and forgo my future jobs if you ain't asking me something permanent."
Right.
You're not really what she said.
No, that's why. Listen, he didn't ask her to marry him.
Right. That's why they shouldn't be moving in together.
Well, no, but that's why she should be taking the job.
Yeah, I mean, you take the job.
She should take the job, and he should go find somebody else.
No, we can live in our own separate places, and we're gonna see how it work out.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Listen, you guys completely overlooked the fact that if she gets stressed out, she could come to me and I could.
You won't be that smooth into modern world.
Men are problem solvers.
Access denied.
You want to be a problem solver, then a problem arises, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm not dealing with that problem."
That was a good one. So yeah, Coach Furry, we had odds on that one. So that's
all right. So we're gonna get into the topic of the evening. This is how men value women sexually. This is a pretty long video, so I'm not sure if we'll finish it, but it's a interaction back and forth with a man and a woman. I'm not quite sure who either one of them are, but they're having this back and forth, and we're going to take a listen and kind of critique as we go.
It lowers the value of women when you only can put them in a sexual category. Can I finish?
How does it?
Let me make sure I'm all the way at the beginning.
So Zia, what's wrong with a guy just wanting women for sex and relationships and no friendship? What's wrong with that?
So I hope y'all heard him. What's wrong with a man just wanting a woman for sex and companionship, but no friendship? He wants to know what's wrong with that.
Because what happens is it lowers the value of women when you only can put them in a sexual category. Can I finish?
How does it?
Can I? If you would let me talk, you would find out.
Oh my God, this is sad.
I mean, that would be a nice start.
Go ahead, because I want to hear this.
When you only can see women as smecks, or you put them in a sexual category, what you're actually doing is you're dissolving the purpose of women in general. You're actually minimizing the impact that a woman can have because you only can put her in a sexual category. So when it comes to having a relationship that's not sexual, you're incapable of doing so because you're so narrow-minded. In addition to that, you're also teaching other men to not value women, to not value everything that a woman comes with because all you're thinking about is what you can get from her sexually.
Okay,
that's a problem.
Okay, so cool. So name me 3 things that a man can benefit from non-sexually by being friends with a woman.
Crickets.
So, Arpay, you're married. What are 3 things that your wife offers you non-sexually? Are you on mute?
Yeah, we're jumping the gun though. Because listen, it's not that wasn't for the man to answer. That was for the woman to answer.
I know. However,
No. You see, here's the misconception, and this is where the woman's coming from, and this is where she's wrong. Women have a tendency to try to tell men that it's wrong for them to want to have sexual intercourse with them. It's not. That's our nature. What happens after that is where they want to just jump to. I wanted to bang my wife out the very first time I saw her. So it's not that just having sex is the end all and be all. Sometimes the men who want to have sex with women marry them. That's it. So this whole notion that a man should forego his natural instinct to appease what a woman looks like is the same reason I always say we don't see the world the same way. It doesn't mean the word woman is wrong. It doesn't mean that your value is less. It means that I want to have sex with you, but I don't because there's certain natural barriers, right? There's just certain natural. We can go forward because there's more into this thing. So, what are the three things? I can't answer that. It's for a woman to answer. Because for every woman, I think that three things would be different.
You've been married for like 30.
But I'm not answering for my wife. That's not for a man. He asked the woman that.
Right.
He asked the woman that.
But
so it's not fair to ask. Well, I could come up with some shit, but that's for he put that to the woman for her to answer, and it'd be nice to hear her answer.
Yeah, she's gonna answer. But
okay. But what do you want me to say? Say the question again.
What are three intrinsic? No, now I'm giving you the answer.
But what's the three things? Okay, right. The three things for me. The question would be different. The three things that would make me want to keep the woman after I had sex with her. That's a different question. So that's why I'm saying the question you want to put to me as a man is not fair. If you would have said, here's my three things as a woman, Precious, that this lady's not answering or needs to answer, that's a better answer than what I'm going to give you, because I'm going to give you from a man's perspective. And just like I already told you, every time a man braves rejection to come up to a woman, not into a professional setting, if we're business partners, if we're this or we're that, that's one thing. But if I walk across the dance floor, if I walk across anything to come to say, hey, hello, and I want to meet you, I can tell you that, but in the back of my mind, that no matter how this goes, in the end, I want to have sex with you. Not that I'm going to come across like some kind of savage, because how you receive me is going to be more important, right? And so the point is, men don't approach women without having a sexual intent. We just do.
Ever?
No, listen to what I said. I said approach women. If I want to approach you for a business deal, that's one thing. But in the back of my mind, if you're fine, I'm thinking, so there's natural barriers. I'm married. I have a natural barrier, right? But let's be fair. Precious, we're on these panels. I look at you by every stretch of imagination, you're a pretty woman.
Thank you.
Well, I'm serious, right? So I'm not thinking about having sex with you because I'm married. That's a natural barrier. Mm-hmm. And if we were friends, as long as we're talking on a panel, as long as we might talk, have these conversations, and there's natural barriers. But if we were friends, I can't be up in your house eating dinner with you, and you can't be in my house, even if nothing happens. That's where you can cross a line, because it's raining outside and the lightning is nice and cozy and shit. And I mean, that's when you avoid those situations. Mm-hmm. With even girls that are your friends, right? So, and listen, I don't want to blow all the shit I want to say, but here's the point. You asked me, one of the reasons why men and women can't be friends that way, because true friendships is intimate. True friendships are intimate situations. I could be in intimate situations with fellas because I'm not gay. I could talk to them. I could tell them my feelings. I could tell them. I've already told you a story about when my frat brother caught me crying and about a girl. And I thought, I could confide in him because we crossed the burning sand. All he couldn't wait was to out my ass.
Exactly. Come here.
But I appreciate him doing that because it's been 50 years. I never was in that position again. But those are intimate conversations we have.
Yeah.
So if I have a woman who's truly my friend, right? Those intimate conversations can take a turn really easy.
Right.
And so, and let me, I'm gonna shut up because I don't want to give it. We can come back to it. But I had a couple of girlfriends. I have one girlfriend. My wife knows her, and we were freshmen in college together. So it's been 50 something years, and we know each other. I know her children. I know all this kind of stuff. And we've never had any kind of sexual encounters. I know all her boyfriends, all my girlfriends. We had these commiseration things. But we only talk maybe 4 times a year. She's in Atlanta, I'm here. I had another girlfriend like that, right? Who was real close to me. And we never got there. But here's the intimate settings. She asked me one day to take her to a porno movie. She never did go to a porno movie. She asked me when we were coming out of college to take her to a porno movie. So I was the first. She said, "I never saw a porno movie. Can you take?" That's.
I'm sorry. Maybe I grew up sheltered. Maybe.
Yeah, well, no. She asked me. So
how do you go see a porno movie if you're not?
She wanted to see.
There's places you can go.
I never. But here's the thing. We never really crossed the line. I got so many stories with this woman. I really liked her, but we lost track over the years. However, we were really close. And it was a time when it almost slipped into the other. It almost slipped into the other thing. It wasn't going to be just her. It was going to be her and her roommate. I almost had the ultimate male fantasy. Okay.
Thank God you didn't have that.
It didn't work out. But the point is, I liked her.
It didn't work out.
It didn't work out. I'm mad about that today. It's 50 years. I'm still thinking about this shit. Okay. So the point is, I'm ended here. We were good friends, and she told me something that happened to her. And this is really what solidified she got assaulted. And I went to her dorm room just because we hung out like that, and she told me about it. And I said, "Okay, let's go ahead and call the cops." She said, "No, it was my fault." And she cried, for an hour on my shoulder. For my shoulder, I'll never forget it. I was like, "Oh my God!" She cried until she was finished. And she says, "Listen, I'm not going to do anything about it. Don't tell nobody." And I didn't. And we never talked about it again. To me, that's intimacy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and I never. So these are like experiences, with friends. So a real friendship takes that intimacy, and men and women in that kind of intimate setting. In those intimate settings, nature takes over a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
That's one of the reasons why men and women can't get together like that.
That's the difference, though. So you might have had a little bit more respect today. If they get in those intimate settings too many times, they gonna ask them. You think we should go ahead and do something because we friends? And I think that's the scary thing, right? I agree with you.
But women are different than men, right? They could put a whole bunch of guys.
This is a new age, This is a new age of women. They're a little more aggressive.
It's still a woman's choice, though.
But they still will be aggressive and let you know if they want.
Choice.
Yes, and the day that you come over and they want to give you that monkey, they're gonna give it to you.
Yeah, but it's
and most guys, even though they consider as a friend, are not going to turn it down to them. Right. They're not going to turn it down and be strong like our pain was back then.
I wasn't that strong. It just had.
But even in that position, though, and I
was just an overall
being a friend.
I like to, but I
think it's good for high school. Like we graduate high school together, neighborhood friends,
How many girlfriends you got, Ferg? How many close girlfriends?
I got no girlfriends, man.
There you go. How about you, Leon?
I had one. Right. I can say just looking back, there's one woman that I got to be friends with at work, but she was older. And when I met my wife and I knew we were serious, I introduced her immediately.
Right.
And she might have, you know what I'm saying? But I was careful because I understood women in the sense that I ain't gonna be in too many intimate type of settings.
Exactly.
You know, I ain't coming over after a certain amount of time, 10, 11, 30 at night. I ain't drinking.
Me and Jeffro broke up. Why don't you come over and let's talk
Yeah,
about
see,
it?
I would talk to the friends. I like this, but as far as that person, if we were like friends in a capacity, then our friendship went as far as work.
Right.
Not Friday night, we going out, you want to take shots, and then I gotta drive you home and you half naked in the car. I wanted to be in those situations based off my own conditions with a woman. I didn't want to be in a friend zone and then we knock it down and then you ain't even treat me like your friend no more. Who is that? Who you talking to? You done got out of your position because you done fell in love with the hammer. And I ain't want that. I didn't want that. I didn't want those. I didn't want those problems.
You know what, Ferg? There's not too many men who start calling that Johnson a hammer, okay?
Well,
you over here talking about the hammer. You know what I'm saying? You got
it's a catch-22. But that's what. But listen, if you can do that, then you get the call back. If you can't do that, now you the dude that's gonna be bringing pizza over for everybody. You bringing the wine, you filling up the gas tank, you doing all that stuff that you gonna cry about. But the hammer get to knock it down for free.
That's right. Hey, thanks for buttering it up for me. All right, let me go ahead and end it. Let me go ahead and take it out of this.
That's pretty much what I was saying. So when you ask men, what do women have to offer other than box? They draw a blank.
Yes.
Yeah. But some women have something to offer. But
they have something to offer, but you know what, Precious, you're being slick. Okay,
right.
Because the next thing is the woman's going to actually try to answer my man's question. But
okay, sure. I would say counsel / advice, companion. You have Tourette's. Companionship, and I would just say community.
Okay, so couldn't a guy have companionship with a woman he's in a relationship with?
Well, he could also have companionship with a rock if you like.
No, I'm asking, what can he have that he can't have, and he can only have it being friends with a woman?
But that wasn't the question. You said, what are 3 things that he could have? You could have it with anyone that you choose.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. If I can have companionship with a woman who I'm friends with, or I can have companionship with a woman I'm having sex with, which one do you think men are going to choose?
That's a totally different question.
No, it's
so of course a man will likely choose the woman he's having sex with. Okay, but you asked me originally, what are 3 things a man could get from being friends with a woman? I gave you 3 things.
Friends? Okay, that's what I'm saying. So I'm taking one of your points. So if he could,
I'm gonna stop it right there because it sounds like he's confusing platonic relationships with friends with benefits.
I was just about to say that. Like now this may be an unpopular opinion. Like I have a few girl friends that I'm friends with. Like legit. I still am. I'm in a travel group on Facebook, and we met, and like we just not on anything sexual. Like we just hit it off. Like we would meet up, and go to different destinations. We had our own separate rooms, and so she became a really good friend, especially when my mom passed. Like she was a person that I could actually talk to, about my feelings. And I talked about this last night on the show about me going through dealing with the things with the passing of my mom. I'm kind of person like I think you can be friends with people. I agree with you guys. Like in those types of settings, I don't think you should be around those. Like, but if you're just talking to somebody on the phone or you guys are texting, and I don't think anything's wrong with that. But like, if you're taking it to another level where you are thinking about having sex, I'm just not one of those people. Like, I don't. Every woman that I come across, I don't think about having sex with her. Like, that's just not.
There's one in the hallelujah.
Like, I just don't think like, because for example, I think that people that understand you and where you're coming from or your baseline, like they will respect it. Like they won't try to cross it, and I don't try to cross it. So like, if I know I'm going to be in a situation where I might be vulnerable to wanting to have sex, I don't put myself in those positions. And so, I don't, I just don't go, I listen to these guys on these panels talking about, oh, you can't be friends with women because, all guys want to have sex with women. All of us aren't like that. Like, and the way that he phrased the question to her, I do think he was confusing the two, right? Because if you're, to me, in my mindset, if you're friends with somebody, that means you're not trying to have sex with them. But if you're trying to have sex with someone, you're not trying to be friends with them, because friends, that's a different zone, right? And so I can talk to somebody and text them and, be platonic friends with them. But if I'm trying to get with somebody, like, I'm just going to have a different energy, right? And so I think he might have been confusing the two just based on the way he was wording the question.
You're talking about the companionship part?
Yeah.
What's the definition of companionship? Because listen, I'm saying I don't disagree with anything you just said, and anybody can. First of all, my basic premise is that I reject any notion that a man who wants to have sex with a woman is somehow a bad thing. I reject that wholeheartedly. It's part of our nature. It's how you carry yourself that makes a difference. What's your character?
Mm-hmm.
There's natural boundaries that's already set up. And then, like you said yourself, you don't put yourself in a position where that line could be crossed. Right. So when for me, as a married man so long, I understand where those boundaries are. I can talk to a woman, I can make a business deal, we could be texting, we could have all kinds of laughs, we commiserate and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But don't be asking me to come over and hanging out in you with a dinner, and it's just me and you. Even though we might not have sex that night, but you're sitting down, you got beautiful legs and pretty feet and shit like that, and you're sitting down all relaxed in your home, and you're gonna ask me that I won't get a thought that, man, I wouldn't put myself through that kind of pain, right? Not at all. And and she's gonna talk some more about that. It's about triggers, right? You gotta make sure, as part of your control, is that you don't put yourself in the trigger point. That doesn't mean a woman can't be an acquaintance and your friend, but a real friends, I believe that's intimacy. That's a single. And to tell a single man who's virile and a single woman who's virile, even if she's married, you're both in the sex age. If you're old and 90 like I am, that's one thing. But if we both 25 and 30 and 35, I'm looking at you, your tits still hang up with the bra or not, and I'm all like, come on, I'm not gonna put myself through that.
But most men will, though.
No. I'm just saying, but we ain't friends no more.
Right.
Women will put men like that in the friend zone because women extract energy from men. They do, and for them, it ain't sex. We ain't talking about the woman's part of it. They could sit down here and extract all the energy from you and not even think about giving you any bird, okay? But you are not saying, you're just waiting for the rain to come down the right way, sideways, for her to say, you know what? It's time, Jeffro. And you right there. You right there. I mean, you know, come on. I mean, this is just natural inclination. It's always a woman's choice when it comes to sex.
Bro, Leon, it's Friday, 8:30. You get a call. Your friend, come over tonight. I got this. Go ahead. I'm just saying, man. You get over there. She got on that little teddy thing that ain't even, you know, the little robe that don't really robe all the way up. You know, she got, you know, she's comfortable. She sit down. I got a little box wine for your favorite. You know, okay.
Have companionship and have sex. Why would he have companionship?
Oh, and you said companionship. What is that? I mean,
I mean, you can knock me down every once in a while.
Companionship without having sex.
Well, what if he doesn't want to have sex? What if he's celibate?
Oh my God.
What if he doesn't? What if that's something that he's not into?
Answer.
What if he's abstinent?
He's gay.
I mean, we can do this all day long.
This is what I'm saying. Most guys are not abstinent. I'm talking about the guys who are sexually attracted to women and want to have sex with women. I'm saying, why would those guys want to just have non-sexual companionship when they can have sexual companionship? It doesn't make sense. That's
Well,
what I'm
let me
trying to
ask
tell
this
you.
question.
my thing is, right? Your nature is to have sex, and I'm not bypassing that at all whatsoever. It's a known fact. It should be a universal known fact, right? But if you just listen to what he's saying, why would a man want to have a woman as a companion and not have sex with her? Logical for a man, right? But when you think about what's attached to the smacks that they keep talking about, right? When you think about what's attached to that, when he said, you know, what can I get from a woman that I'm not having sex with that I can't get from a woman that I am having sex with? One of her first answers should have been a disease, for one. Like, y'all never think about that big D word, right? A disease. You can't get a disease from the one that you're, you know, just platonically friends with.
But that's true. But that doesn't answer the heart of the question, though. That's a deterrent, yes, but that still doesn't answer the heart of the question about the companionship. Companionship is a deep ass word, man. You know what? I agree with Leon also that because I don't agree with this whole guy, because I saw the whole thing with everything he says. Men and women can be friends. I just said I have one like that, but we're friends. I have two like that. The other one, I lost track of her, and I'm sorry about that because she was a really good woman. And you know, the point what I'm saying is, but we are friends from a distance.
Yeah, and that's the
We're
only
friends from a distance. We're not up under each other, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's easy, right? Because both of the girls I'm talking about, man, even at their advanced age, at least the one I know, she's still pretty good looking. Right? And I'm not gonna and like I said, I got a natural barrier because I'm married, right? You know, and some guys don't have that barrier. So we're talking about guys who are single, women who are single. And that's not that they can't have business deals and all this kind of
be friends, single
people. You could be acquaintances, you could be business partners, and even with that, you still gotta be careful. That's why, and I'm gonna shut up after this. That's why it's never a good idea to put women in men's prisons or vice versa as guards. Because nature takes over.
Well,
no matter what the rules are.
And they get pregnant, and you know, what are they called? Correction officers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one dude had about 8 officers.
Here's one for you. But here's one for you though, Precious. Why is it such a big deal for women to want to have male friends?
Why is it a big deal?
Why do women have a problem. No. Why? No, let me keep it the way I want. Why is it such a big deal for women to have a cadre of male friends? Why?
Oh, I don't think that women should have a whole bunch of male
Well,
friends.
however many, for whatever satisfies the individual woman. Women like to have male friends, and I'm not talking about gay guys either.
Mm-hmm.
And I already have my own answer, but I'm asking you, why is it that because you got these random male orbiters that, and the prettier you are, there's all kinds of guys who want to sign up for being a random male orbiter. Okay, just in case that as just spinning the bottle or playing musical chairs and shit, that it might just hit on a chair that they can get lucky. And women don't like to hear that because, like this woman says, it feels like they're being belittled. But I don't believe it's true. Men play the long game.
Right. And women have to use that discernment, right? You have to know, like I told you guys, I was going into the store and it was like 4 or 5 guys, and they was like, and they said something to me that you hear on social media a lot, like, oh, why don't you smile? Right. And I'm a smiley person. Like, I smile with people. I'm a people's person, but I'm not going to smile at a group of 4 or 5 men and invite myself in that way because it is just me. It's only y'all. I don't know what your intentions are. Like you said, y'all want to have smecks anyway. So, one of y'all might think y'all going to get lucky when I'm shutting that down from the.
They definitely convince me to smile.
I'm going in, no sidetrack, right? So women have to be smarter in that aspect as well, knowing that men are playing the long game. I think that some women use that to their advantage and they manipulate and they have men around and, they try to act naive to that fact. But to tell you the truth, I have one male friend, a true male friend. That's it. That's it.
So he's a male friend, but we're not going to ask you to do this. So if you called him up and say, "Hey, listen, big boy,"
he would say no.
He would say no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
He would say no.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't believe in having a lot of male friends because there's going to be some type of expectation. And sometimes I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm too nice, but then when I shut things down, it's like, oh, you're the mean one, you're the strict one, you're the, this and that. And it's like, no, I just don't like you like that. Or I don't, I'm not interested in this. You know what I mean? And there are men who will push and push and push. And then there are men that are just like, all right, that's it. And that's all I can.
But can you tell a difference between a guy playing a long game and the guy who wears his attraction to you on his sleeve that's in the friend zone? Because I think that's where some women, I believe it's willful ignorance, or maybe it's naivete, and there's a lot of that. I would grant you that. But
sometimes it's just that a woman just doesn't look at that man like the man looks at the woman. So it's not naive; is that she's truly not even seeing you like that.
Yeah, but she keeps him in the orbit.
So okay, let's park it here. Keeping in the orbit, what does that mean? We can't be friends. I know you like me and it's never going to go there. Is that
keeping him in the orbit? If a guy is still in your orbit, he could call you, you could call him, even if there's no, from your point of view, there's no sexual thing at all. You made that clear. But if you still contact him and he still has access to you, it's only a one-way thing. For you, you think that access is closed. For him, he's playing a long game. So every time y'all talk, he thinks there's an opportunity. And even if he doesn't show it, some guys are good at not showing that.
Why would a guy think that when a woman says, I'm not interested in sexual?
Women say that shit to men all the time. And guys stay in orbit. You know why? Because if that guy has something, not you, let's take you out of it. If that guy has something to offer that you could extract, you're going to extract. I said this before. Women extract energy from men. They extract women in general, whether they agree with it or not, look at men as utilities. They look at, I'm a Swiss Army knife, you're a vice grip, you're this, you're that. And you know what? Lucky you, bastard, you're the maintenance man. And I'm just saying that's how women view men, up to and including your wife. So you're it's just the way shit is. And I think it's natural. From way back when we were in the caveman days, the guy who was the top chief and some of his companions, they was the ones getting all the box. And in return, they put the women and the children on the inside of the cave, and they were out there just in case somebody would raid the cave. And so we evolved to the modern era. It's all natural. Women look at safety, they look at security, they look at men as utility. Period. This guy speaks well.
Okay, so what if this guy's not doing anything for her? Like,
he won't be. Then he wouldn't be in your orbit. If a guy is completely useless,
okay, so what if it's a coworker, right? What if
he's not in your orbit? He's just your coworker, and you talk to him because you need to get a job done on a job.
Yeah, but you may talk to your coworkers. I talk to my coworkers outside of work.
No, listen. But he's not. Yeah, that's true. But I'm talking about somebody you keep in that guy's not in your friend zone. That guy's not. You just know him as a coworker, and you don't talk to him on any kind of regular basis. And most of your conversations are not. There's a difference between what I consider a random male orbiter and a guy you just know, right? And coworkers are like maybe some of the guys you just know, but some people that you might talk to or you might have. He has your phone number. You have his.
Orbiter. What is?
That's my fancy way of saying men in the friend zone.
Yeah,
and I call them random male orbiters because the man who's in the orbit of a woman that he desires, she's not giving him anything.
And this is why I was got one male friend, because I'm not giving you time and energy because I know.
But you know what a man wants. Know, if a man's attracted to you, he's going to express that to you. Now, most niggas at your job ain't going to say, I like you. They ain't not going to do that.
They worry about HR.
Right. But they'll just play the, you know what I'm saying? We cool, you know what I'm saying? We go out. But a guy that steps to you, then everything is on you where you place him. And if you say I ain't interested right now, he'll stay in orbit. You're calling, not you. You want some Uber Eats. It's close to the middle of the month. You ain't got it. You done blew all your rent money. You need somebody. Those guys are always going to be in proximity. Hey, big head, could you come over here and put together my baby's bed? So he'll do that in hope of maybe one day.
Big screen TV.
Yeah, one day.
I did a live on that where a woman said to a guy, said, listen, he wanted to date her. She's an older woman, not older. She's like in her 40s, 50s, divorced, have kids. And this guy had money. He says, let me ask you a question. I don't want you to get mad, but I have resources. I have this. I would like to take you out. I want to be. She says, listen, I know you. I'm just not into that. But if you come over and rake my lawn and do the landscaping and shit, I might look. That's what I really need from a man. Mm-hmm. Maybe, just maybe, I might move the panties to the side. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just trying to say that because she looked at him as what she needed. She didn't need a date. She didn't need a play. She needed a utility man because she divorced her husband and she wanted somebody to come over, but she's not promising the box. She's just promising the possibility of a sniff. What I'm saying? And
call the grass people, have them come and cut your grass. But I don't know. I know that there are women who do that. Right. I used to be friends with a girl and we had a conversation. She was like, yeah, this person is for this person is for that, this person for this. I had
exactly. That's all I'm getting. That's all I'm getting for.
And in my head, I'm like, well, like, is it just like when you only need this, you literally just call this guy? Like there's other type of relational equity that's being put in, or are you just having conversations so when you need to call him? So I just can't deal with all. I can't do it.
Well, every woman, thank God, every woman is not like that. But you know, you ever saw the undesirable truth of the brother who does the street things?
Yes.
Street guy. So he had one young girl up there, and she named 5 guys, and he says, "Well, so these guys are just like a Swiss Army knife, right?" And she said, "You know, kind of, yeah. This guy does this. This guy does that." And this guy who's getting who's banging her out, she says, "Yeah, that guy, I will never go with him." He said, "Why not?" He says, "He's a loser, but he's pretty good in bed." You know, but every other guys are sitting around her, and she just blatantly said, "Oh man, it sounds kind of crazy." Once I said it out loud, but you know, but that I peep that game. Women look at men as utility knives. Period.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I just
it sounds harsh, but I think it's just
right. I mean, because as a woman, it's like, okay, if you're gonna come into my life, what you gonna do?
But Precious, you were raised under a different cloth. It's a different mindset, right? You were raised to be respectful of those type of things. A lot of these single people raised people, they don't give a damn about a man's utility. They know these things. They learned it. It was a learned behavior. Sometimes you need a man to fix it. Little Derek, he can't do nothing but have sex. They pass this information, but Brother Leon, hey, he can fix a car. He can get your car together. Call him over. And he might have had an interest in you. Hey, Mr. Leon. She'll flirt with you enough so he'll give her that $200 discount. Well, I ain't got nothing but 150. Could you? And that's I'll say this and I shut up. I think those days are over. The day of the younger man, they're not moving like us old dudes move. We want to be the Mr. Fixer, Mr. Saver. You know what I'm saying? That's how we beat our chest, not these younger dudes. Because the women that they're dealing with are telling them out the gate, nigga, you ain't shit. If you ain't got that bag, which we know they lying because most of the kids are born through slow ass genes. So you know they lying about all this. But I think men are waking up. It seems like it's bad, but in the long run, I think men are going to be in a better position on how they're able to move with the women that they choose. And the older women are going to keep sending bad messages to these younger women. And these younger women, hopefully they don't listen and be willing to work with a young man on the same level who's showing that he wants to get out here and be a provider for his family and a protector. You know, because by the time people get let's just say we start out at 23 and we both are working, like Aunt Payne said, we married, we got kids. Now the kids are older and can be more self-sufficient and independent because we've both given them the same message to be respectful, work hard at what you do. Your job as a kid, go to school, don't let nobody bully your ass. Anybody adult fucking with you, come and get us. We go out and we deal with it because we trust our child.
Right.
And as the kids get older, listen, let's pull back. Listen, now you ain't got to work that full-time job. Let's go and pull back, get you something. You want to start your own business, do your little 25 hours a week. You know what I'm saying? Pay for your little hair and nail, because I don't pay for that shit. I don't care what number. I ain't never paid for no. You get paid for that. Let's take care of the bills, put our money away. When everybody's out of the house, we can turn that room into your little room you want it to be, your little podcast room, whatever, your sewing room, whatever your room is. That can be but let's put in the work. I think people are trying to get to these spaces without putting in the work. And they're just looking at the glamour of it and expecting those things to automatically work out. You know what I'm saying? But here we are. We'll see, man, because y'all, Precious, you in the thick of it, sister. and I ain't gonna let it go to waste. I'm gonna find you a little Tony. You want his name to be Tony or Earl?
Look, he might have to be from the country because I'm telling you, he might have to be from the South and can use his hands. Okay,
A little Earl, there. Get you an Earl.
that's all I'm saying.
No, yeah, get you an Earl. We can find you an
Earl. Lord. All right.
Question: have you ever met a woman that was funny that made you laugh? You have,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
When you spoke with that woman, how did you feel when she would be making you laugh? How did you feel?
I mean, I was like, I want to fuck.
Oh, that's all you kept thinking about?
Yeah. Even if she wasn't funny, I would still want to have sex. Yes.
Okay, so are you attracted to every woman?
No, I'm not attracted to every woman.
So what if she was severely unattractive, but she was extremely funny and she was good company? Would you then say, what, you have no value because I can't put my penis in you?
No, I just wouldn't, like, if she was like a comedian, I would probably come and see a show of hers, but I wouldn't be friends with her.
Why?
Not if she was a comedian. She's just a regular woman who's funny.
Because when you're friends with women, there's a lot more things that come with being friends with women, meaning that there's a lot more conversations, emotional labor, all those things that I would do with a girlfriend or wife. And the difference is that the friend I'm not having sex with. So if I have a girlfriend or wife and I'm engaging in that emotional labor as a man, I want to be having sex with the woman I'm engaging emotional labor with. I do not want to have emotional labor with a woman I'm not having sex with. That's what I'm trying to.
But isn't that the relational equity that you put in a friendship? I think you're on mute.
You're on mute, Coach.
He's saying I want to have a friend. I don't want to carry the emotional labor unless I'm having sex with you.
But that's the problem, though. Look how the wording. People use words that they don't realize carry weight. What? Emotional labor? Having a friend? No. How's that labor? What the hell are you doing? I like a funny. I love a woman with a sense of humor. I like a woman that can make me laugh and that can take a joke. Not a lot of women can take a joke. Because I'm going to say something about your little fat ass sausage toes when you look down at your feet. I'm going to say something about it. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I grew up. And I don't mean harm about it because me and my wife would joke on each other all day and be, in tears laughing. But I like that. I think people have gotten away from that.
Yeah.
Just having a sense of humor, not being so serious all the time, being able to find humor in our relationship because we all got little quirks. It's just do you accept your flaws in a sense to where you're not so sensitive when other people can see them too.
Yeah.
And I think people get away from that because they trying to be serious about stuff because people don't want to ask the questions in getting to know each other, those tough questions. You got to ask some tough questions sometime early enough so you won't go through an emotional labor in a relationship. But she got them yams, Precious, and I wasn't thinking about all that. But she had that body like I like. She was brown skin and light skin like I like. And girl, when he pulled that thing out, I almost passed out.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he, don't have any friends, any female friends anyway. All the women that are in his life, it seems like he has to be having sex with.
But not that dude. That dude's speaking for somebody else.
Right. I'm talking about the guy in the video.
Yeah, he ain't doing what he said.
Say so if I'm with a woman, for example, if me and you were friends and we were just out hanging out at a club or something like that or somewhere and something popped off, I'm going to have to protect you because I'm the man. So now I'm protecting you, right? I'm doing the duty of a man, protecting you, and we're just friends. So
what? Y'all get y'all friend out of here. Get him out of here because now
you're the one that found the video.
Now he's saying that, and this happens a lot. Something happened. mind you, y'all supposed to be friends. You're not even a stranger to this man, right? Because a lot of times it's stranger interactions that something is happening to a woman, specifically a black woman.
It's a lot of women that be on some bull in public. Like,
yeah, but we're talking about somebody that is supposed to be his friend, right? You know your friends, you know who the loud one is, you know who pops off at the mouth, like, you know. Let's just say that's just not her ordeal. Let's just say a man bumped into her, spilled a drink on her dress because y'all just out chilling at a bar or something. He's saying, now I gotta step in as the man.
Yeah,
and I shouldn't have to do that.
But he's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong.
Yeah, like I don't.
This is where I disagree with him. You know, I mean, we're not. Let's just say I know you, right? If Precious, if I was with you, even though we don't have any, we were out,
right?
Communal lunch. Somebody messing with you, you don't. I don't have to have sex with you to know I'm not going to sit there and let anything happen.
And allow it.
Yeah, no. You know. I despise Karen Bass, the mayor of but when that guy approached her at the airport, I don't know if anybody saw this video. He was accosting her at the airport. She's like this big. And even though I don't like what she stands for, I don't see as a man I could have stood there, even though I hate her policies, to let some white dude or any dude do what he did to her. Right, you know, so yeah. So I, on this point that he made, try to prove this point, yeah, you might have to step up. But if she's your friend, even though you're not having sexual, even if she's your acquaintance, but she's out with you, you assume that role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know, you absolutely assume that role, and so you know, because even if you're, you know, you don't want anything to happen with somebody who's under your. Even if it's a non-sexual covering, because if she's with you, she's under your covering. Yeah, she might not appreciate that, but she is.
Right, and you're sharing an experience together. So now you want to detach yourself from the experience.
Yeah, so he's wrong with that example. His example is not a good. It's not. It's a bad.
I just wanted to make sure.
We're not even having sex, so I'm putting my life in danger for a woman I'm not even having sex with. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, what if you don't? But see, this is the thing. What it sounds like to me is this just sounds like a lack of sexual control. In my opinion.
I don't think it's lack of sexual control. I just think that he doesn't want, again, to put in that emotional equity with someone that he's not being physically intimate with.
Yeah, he doesn't want to protect her because they're not together. Basically,
right? Yet let him have a daughter, and she's walking down the street, you know, with somebody that she's going to school with, and somebody else comes up and beats the crap out of her. He's going to ask the guy who was there, "Why didn't you do anything?" Like, you're supposed to be her friend, right? That logic is just crazy. So I don't think that he has a lack of sexual control, and he could, but look, you can have sex with whoever you want to, do, right? If that's what you want to do with your life, and you want to, you know, have sex and be all willy-nilly with it, protect yourself, I wouldn't advise it. But hey, whatever. But I wouldn't say the reason that he's giving is because he sexually has no discipline. I would just say that he just doesn't look at women past being people that he wants to be intimate with. He doesn't want to care for you in a certain type of way unless he's being intimate with you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you the honest truth. I'm telling you exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like you have a hard time having platonic relationships because you're hypersexual.
No, I'm gonna tell you what sexual control. Sexual control is. I let a woman know I'm interested in her sexually. She says she's not interested. I walk away. That's sexual control.
But because you're avoiding it shows you're out of control. For instance,
avoiding what? She told me no. She told me no.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know where she going with this, because he said it. Like, if a woman says that she's not interested, I'm going to walk away. That's actually discipline, because there are some men who will you know, be like, oh, she don't really mean that, let me continue to try, you know. That's sexual lack of sexual discipline.
How am I?
For
She told me no.
instance,
What am I
if
supposed
someone
to do?
says, I cannot go to bars, well, why not? Well, if I go to a bar, I fear that I may become way too inebriated. That is not you being in control. That's you being out of control, and you're avoiding your triggers. Somebody who has control can go to a bar and drink moderately, but a lot of men do not have that level of control.
But this is the thing.
Yeah, just stop for a second. She is so intent on being right.
Yeah.
She sounds foolish. The control is to be able to avoid your triggers.
Yeah, like Leon said, he's not going to put himself in a situation where if he's feeling a certain type of way, like you're just not going to put yourself in that situation.
Absolutely. So that's the ultimate control. But she wants to be right so bad. But I kind of get her point. It's not a lack of control. She's just mad that she ran into a man who doesn't see any value in women unless he has sex with them. Now, I'm not an advocate for that, right? Because but I understand that, there's men out there who don't want to be bothered with women because they don't want to give a woman anything unless they're getting something in return. And the only thing they think that a woman can give them back in return is sex.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because he doesn't need your advice. He doesn't need all that horse shit and all that kind of stuff and emotional intelligence and all that. He's just listening. And there's some men like that. He sounds like one of them.
Yeah, you could tell he's been doing this for a long time because he's very adamant about this too. Like he's not, he's not pushing away from her like at all.
Yeah. I appreciate a guy who's not bending like a cheap suit under.
What you're saying, you're assuming that men care about being friends with women, and because we have no control, we're just trying to have sex with them.
I didn't say that.
No, but that's what you're saying with what you're saying.
No.
If this is what I'm saying. So as a man, as me being me, and I'm a man, what do I need to control sexually?
What do you mean? What do I need to control?
You said that we don't have emotion, we don't have sexual control.
No,
what does sexual control look like?
Let me explain. What it sounds as though, and maybe for you, because I hope all men don't have this perspective. It sounds as though you have a hard time containing that sexual desire, so you avoid the people who can't fulfill it. Because if you didn't have trouble controlling it, you would have no issue having platonic relationships with women. But that's what I'm saying. I don't want to have platonic relationships with women because I value women sexually. It's just like, for example, that's the problem.
So he doesn't want to have platonic relationships with women because he values them sexually, meaning if you ain't giving up the cheeks, you have no value.
Well, if you ain't giving up the cheeks, he doesn't want to spend his resources on you, whether it's emotional resources, whether it's time, whether it's any of that stuff. And you can make a character judgment against this guy, but that's just like women have standards. That's his standard. That's the creed he lives by. Just like some women who don't want to talk to a man unless he's making 6 figures, got an 8-inch Johnson, and all that other kind of stuff. Women say this shit all the time. They're saying if you want to be around me, we got to be banging out, or else I don't want to be around you because it's a waste of my time. Mm-hmm. And so it's the other side of that. It's the other side of that coin.
I wonder if it's just like, so eventually will you have sex with me? Like that's the only way this is gonna work. Like how do those conversations go? Like how?
Well, apparently there might be enough women who might, if they find them attractive, that might go for it.
Yeah.
There's women who go for these kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's speaking from a confident type of guy, but there's a why before he got to this point. I can look at him and tell he wasn't always in this mindset.
No, of course
as a younger guy. It's a new mindset. He might have had his heart broken a few times, or he might have played the simp role to a woman before. And then he got to a point like, man, I'm tired of being a simp. If I can't have no cheeks, I don't even want to be around. People are getting to that point.
Exactly. So now what you said was that's devaluing the woman, yes?
What do you think?
Okay,
Hashim?
if I order food right now and the Uber driver comes and the DoorDash person comes and bring me my food, do I need to be friends with them, or am I devaluing them because their use is to bring me food? Are they not
No
valuable
correlation.
now?
No, what I'm saying is
that is the correlation.
They value you. That's why you call them to deliver the food.
The correlation
Absolutely,
is that people have positions in your life. So if the woman I'm talking to, their position is to be in the relationship with me and have sex with me, that is their position. Their position is not to be friends with me or me to be friends. So when I order food, that person bringing me my food, their position is to bring me my food. That does not devalue the DoorDash person.
Of course
That's
it
their
does.
job. No, how does that?
How?
So I'm supposed to be
Of course
friends
it
with.
does. Because essentially what you're saying is unless you can service me, you are of no use.
Yes, yes.
Ding, ding, ding.
Exactly. So what is that?
Yes.
So Hashim, I'm glad we're finally on the same page. So essentially what you're saying is if you can't grant me sexual satisfaction, you're useless. That is the biggest form of devaluing someone because for you, their only value is what's between their legs.
Yes,
that is
and
a
so,
slap in the face to women as a whole.
and you're saying that if this guy can't be friends with me, he's of no use, right?
No. See,
What's
this
the
is
difference? What's the
you're-
difference?
Hashim, you're confusing. You're confusing what I'm saying with what you think I'm saying.
What's the difference?
The problem is you are having a hard time understanding that everybody is not here to service your penis.
No,
This is something-
I'm not.
yes,
That's
I'm not.
absolutely
what
the
the problem
DoorDash
is.
person is not coming to service my penis.
But that DoorDash
is-
person has more value than just bringing you food, no?
to me, that's the value
But you're
they have
paying
me.
for that. That's a paid service. That's why there's no
It doesn't
correlation.
matter.
You don't pay
That's
your
the-
friends.
It doesn't
You don't
matter.
pay your girlfriend.
It doesn't matter.
It does not correlate with
You're
the
not
subject.
understanding. You're not understanding. We're talking about a position. The position of the DoorDash person is they bring me my food. The position of women, when I deal with women, is we're in a sexual situation. There's no friendship in that. Just like how if you
But
if
you're
you go to work,
paying for a service. You don't pay your friends to be your friends, so it does not go with the subject.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, let me ask you this question: Are you friends with your boss?
I have been, yes.
Oh my Jesus Christ!
You have never.
Now, that's one thing I'll never be friends with my boss.
Mm-hmm.
Never been
Don't
friends
even-
with your
don't
boss?
even
No,
request
what
me
I'm
on
saying is
LinkedIn.
no because
I said, don't
Right.
even request me on LinkedIn. Access
We were
denied.
going out with the coworkers. They was like, "You want to invite the?" No, what? Why would you do that?
Negative.
Not that inclusive.
all I do is when I was working, right? My boss tells me what to do. I do the thing. I get paid. That's our relationship. Now, if you want to be friends with your boss, that's cool. But what I'm saying is that you not being friends with your boss does not devalue your boss. And just because your boss doesn't want to be friends with you, that does not devalue you. Y'all's situation is you are working for that person and they pay you. That's your main situation. You being friends with them is an add-on. You can add that on if you want to, but it's not devaluing each other just because you want to do that. So
You're working for the
when
company,
men
You're
not
proving
the
my-
person. They didn't even say that right.
Right. It's a lot of convoluted competition here.
You don't even know the corporate structure talking about you work for your boss. No, you work for the company.
That
Yeah,
point
but-
in real
no,
time.
No, but this is what I'm saying. When men and women get together, the main thing is we're getting together for sex. So you can add on friendship if you want to. But what I'm saying is that a person is not devaluing that person just because they don't want to be friends with that person. Now, before you go,
All right, we're
That's the end of it.
that
Amen.
So all in all, I believe what he's saying, and I think that she's not hearing it because our pain is he said it clearly, she wants to be right. But women have to know these things going in, right? Women have to be aware of these things. And so we can't blame men for being who they naturally are. Now, could you be a different type of man with different other morals and additives on why you're not just having sex like other men are? Yes, right? That's true too for a lot of men. They're not just going to give their bodies away. But what she's not hearing is that, just because I want to have sex with you doesn't make you less of a human being of not wanting to be your friend. And sometimes I think that women, it's hard for us to hear, like we say, oh, we want the truth. We want the truth. Tell us the truth. And I think he's telling her the truth. There are some things I didn't agree with, but I think that he's telling her the truth and is not landing right on her ears. And for most women, it probably wouldn't land right with them hearing, well, if we can't service you, then we're no good to you. And it's like, no, he's a man who knows that he's a man, and he knows what he's going to want when he approaches a woman or he's in a relationship with a woman. And so anything less than that, he's not entertaining it. He's not going to entertain just being friends with you if you attractive and he visualizes you naked every time he sees you, right? Like, he's not going to want to just be friends with you. And so I think that when I first saw this, I was like, well, dang, he pretty, shallow, and he ain't,
he's shallow.
Yeah, he is shallow, but at the end of the day, he is the ground level. I feel like not the ground level, but when you build a house, before it's all done, you have just the structure, right? You have just the plywood or whatever. It takes more nails, it takes siding, it takes the roof, it takes so much more to create that house and to be in the home that you see as a finished product. And he's just the basic structure of a man to me. Right? He's just a man. He's going by his natural desire, and he's okay with that in his life. And sometimes women have to be okay with hearing men and what they say and say, well, that's you, but if that's what you want to do, okay. But I think sometimes in these YouTube debates or whatever, it just goes on and on and on and on.
He's not in a vacuum, though. He's not in a vacuum, right? Because in these YouTube and TikTok debates, women put maximum value on their box.
I don't know why. It's like a bus.
No, but they do. Right? But let me just say this, right? They put maximum value, whether they deserve to or not. But that's what all of these damn criteria is for. You have to have this much money. You have to have all of this kind of shit. That's all because if you want this box, because they don't never say what they bring to the table, because they figure they're bringing the sex to the table, and that's the barter. Women barter their sex all the time. Yeah. I mean, all the time. That's up to and including wives. So I'm just saying. So, yeah, he's superficial, but he's only living in the sexual environment that women have created. He's saying, listen, I don't have any more emotional energy to provide you if I can't get what I need in return. I don't need your companionship. I don't need to sit down here and hear your bullshit about life. I don't hear none of that. I don't need it. If we ain't having sex, I want to go my own way.
Right.
And some women ain't going to like that met, but that doesn't devalue the woman.
Right.
It's just to him on how he sees women.
Right.
And part of that, that's his own problem. That's his own shortcoming. Because most men, absolutely most men, don't see it that way. That's why men out here who acquiesce to women, simp and do anything. Listen, he is an anomaly. Some men might dream that that's their thing, but that's not how they behave. Some men will just love to be around in sniffing distance of a beautiful.
Yeah, he's definitely like on an island by himself.
Yeah.
I mean, there probably are other guys out there like him because, like you guys were saying, he probably experienced something that, it just took him over the edge when he was like, okay, look, if I can't get what I want, I'm not going to be their friend. I'm not going to give them that energy that they're looking for. Because I definitely didn't agree with him talking about he shouldn't protect somebody if he's a friend with them. Crazy. Like that was kind of retarded because, you really have to think about like, what if someone tried to hurt like your sister or your daughter if you had kids, and would you want that person, right? Would you want somebody to, look out for them, or would you want somebody to do something, and so um I think a lot of his moral values have really taken a back seat to what
I agree.
he is actually doing. Um, and so, but he's telling the women the baseline of what he is.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's saying, hey, this is whenever he meets these girls, he's like, okay, look, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm not looking for. But when some women do the same, they'll be like, look, if you can't, like our pain was saying, like if you can't, you know, give me this bag, or if you can't pay for my nails, if you can't do these types of things, like, you know, there's really no need for us to even communicate. And when they tell you that, if you're the kind of person that's, you know, you're not willing to do that, that's your sign to move on, right? Like, so that's just a baseline that you have, that you're not willing to, you're not willing to meet her. I don't negotiate with terrorists. Like, what are we talking about? And so, I think that, in the long run, I think he will look back and say, man, I really messed up.
He's not.
No.
He's too far going.
How would he mess up?
Well, I'm saying morally, like, there comes a time in your life where you look back and you think about all of the decisions that you have made. And we all haven't made the best decisions. Nobody's perfect. And I think at some point he will look back on his life and be like, man, I really shouldn't have did a lot of the things that I did, or treated people the way that I treated them. Because just because he's talking like that online, that doesn't mean that he is like Coach said, it doesn't mean that he's actually doing what he's talking about. Like, and so he could have just been hurt really bad, and he's trying to feed that hurt, right? And so eventually, at some point, or he might not ever, he might just have it locked in a box somewhere, and he will never open that box ever again. But
some get like that.
Yeah.
It's an old playoff Cam Newton.
Huh? What'd you say, Jim?
It's an old play.
Jeanette, I was about to call you.
The way Cam Newton is speaking and living now, guys are starting to gravitate towards that mindset. He says it. I don't want to be around, because women come on the show every day trying to throw that monkey in them, and we can be friends and da 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 da. That should sound good until they in that space. And I think I can tell that he's sort of adopted some of that ideology, but I would like to know his why.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I can tell he wasn't always that guy 18, 19, 17, 18. Some people just got it early. Some people get it as they get older, they get into their career. And most guys typically who think that they're about something will typically save some money. And I can just, maybe I'm wrong, but 9 times out of 10, I've seen this before. Now he's in a position where he's in control.
Right.
And he don't want no woman around, because he also understands that he's going to be attracted to them light skins that show up around him. All them little light skin, bright skin. Oh, I can tell he going crazy off of them. He ain't going. I guarantee that he would not look at a brown skinned woman and be like, she's attractive. I guarantee it.
Listen to this.
I guarantee it. I'm sorry, y'all pain, man. Mo light brown skins, boy, y'all go crazy over there.
That's only
y'all go crazy
because they offer the pass of least resistance.
Is that what it is? Y'all scared?
I used to cherish, man, getting a chocolate chip, man. I had a couple of chocolate chips, man.
Like when you was in middle school?
in college, man. You know.
Is that the one that broke your heart?
No, that's a little light skin after, man. light skin after, man. You know, she couldn't have been more than 5 feet tall. You know, shoot, man. I'll never forget her, man.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wind it down to the final thoughts and get up out of here. We've been on here for quite a while. Everybody back there that Thursday.
That's a good one. All right.
Yeah, we'll start with you. We'll go to Coach Berg, and then we'll end with Mr. R-Pain.
I think those are really good topics. Variety, and the last one definitely definitely pulled out some triggers in everybody. I could see, especially with the facial expressions. But I enjoyed it. You know, it's always a good time.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on the panel this evening. Coach Ferg, final thoughts?
You know what, Precious? Been around YouTube now 4 years. Mm-hmm. And there's enough information from top to bottom, men's side, women's side, that people should be a little bit better in being able to choose a type of woman they want to be with. We've seen it. We've seen all. Thing about black folk, we got all the behaviors. Ain't nothing to run. We can see the nice, soft-spoken. We can see the loud, belligerent. You see that. So there's no reason for you to say nobody taught you shit. Stop listening to other people. Be willing to be different. Be willing to find something other than your cousins and your sisters and how they act. Don't be afraid of something new. And be willing, if you want to be in that position, just live it. Just be willing to live it and have those tough conversations today. Stop trying to live off other people's points and the way their outcomes were. If you believe in yourself, then you would believe that you're not going to have the same outcome. And everything happens in its time. You don't have to rush it. Last thing, don't move in with no woman until you know that she's willing to put all of her Halloween candy, her Easter candy, everything into one basket. If she wants to have her own income and her own place, do that. Don't be trying to put her in a position to where you want to be the breadwinner and take care of her if she's not fighting for that same thing. So salute to y'all, man. Hopefully somebody at some point find that right person. Don't be afraid to look outside of what you're used to and be willing to just have a conversation, man, because this is where we are today.
Thank you, Coach Ferg. I appreciate you. Mr. R-Pain, final thoughts?
Yeah, you know, like I said, you know, it's harder for men to be friends with women because of the intimate nature of true friendship. It's as simple as that. We can, you know, dance around that shit and all that kind of stuff. It's things that, you know, we can cleave to fellas, and we ain't talking about the gay stuff, and say the kind of things we need to say. Women change the environment when they're involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, period. When a woman comes in, the environment changes. So there's a lot of guys who withhold information and all that kind of stuff. So if you have a cadre of women that you're having intimate conversations with, you know, it not only might, you know, you might have a sexual feeling, but if those women are in any kind of relationship with a solid man, he ain't gonna like that shit either. Right? So the point really is, it's not that you can't have relationships with women. You just have to have natural guardrails that matter, that you stick with, because if you leave it up to nature, somebody's banging somebody out. It's just gonna happen. Might not happen overnight, might not happen quick, you know, but you know, that's how these things happen. You know, So that's that. But there's no. But if you're friends with a woman and is friends with benefits, it might last for a short period of time because somebody's going to catch feelings, and you'll share intimacy, sexual intimacy, and also all your secrets. And she might have a lover, and you might have one too. And now you're breaking somebody else's heart, but it's a secret between both of y'all, and then that causes negativity. Right? Because if you're both single, then it's not really friends with benefits. You guys are in a relationship, and so it's what you make it as. So I just think that, men and women could be acquaintances, they could be friends, but with the proper guardrails that need to be put in place. And it's as simple as that. It really is. I mean, I think we try to force feed what we think should happen as opposed to what reality is. We are creatures of nature, all of us, and we keep trying to fight that, and it's hurt us as human beings, I think. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
Well, thank you to everyone who has watched this evening, peeked in, left a comment, was engaging in the chat, the Real Black Lexicon. Thank you so much for being here. Dylan, I appreciate your compliment. We've had some that I didn't highlight, but I appreciate you guys. Lee Turner is in the building this evening. Thank you guys so much for being here. I thought this was a good night for these topics. Arpain sent me one of these videos.
Mm-hmm.
He sent me another one too. So I totally forgot about that one. And
if you got to promise to keep coming back so we can have these so we can get our weekly fix.
So next week we'll go over one of the other ones that you sent me. But I don't mind you guys sending me different videos that you come across. I openly welcome that because sometimes I don't want to be scrolling for this content.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
If you have it, you can definitely send it my way and we'll just create a show around it. I don't have any final thoughts this evening. I'm tired. I'm being honest. So I appreciate you guys. We will be back next week. I will be traveling this weekend. I'm being interviewed. So I'll be in Leon's neck of the woods this weekend. I don't know exactly, how close or, what the distance will be where I'll be and where he's at. But I will be in Maryland this weekend, and it's gonna be a good weekend. So I'm looking forward to that.
Do you know how long it takes for her to actually present those episodes out to the internet, or she didn't disclose that?
I just know that she records on Sunday, so I'm not quite sure exactly like when the interview is going to be dropping, but I know she does all her recording on Sundays.
Yeah, I reached out to her.
I'm sorry. I just want
go ahead.
You're doing an interview with a female?
Yeah, about adoption.
Oh, I was going to say, hold it down for us, Precious, man. Don't let us down, man. But it's about adoption. That's different. Salute to the adoptees, man. Salute to y'all, man.
Thank you. Yeah, she was on our panel, the last adoptee panel that we had. Yeah, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to stopping in DC, get my favorite pizza from Today's Pizza. Having a solo trip. I'm looking forward to that. But we'll be back next Tuesday here on the Real Precious. I'm sorry?
Wednesday.
Well, no, we'll be back Tuesday too.
For the
adoptee show. And then we'll be back Wednesday again for the men's forum for you guys. So we gotta advertise the adoptee foster show.
I would come up there.
Be like, no, Wednesday. No, we will be back Tuesday and Wednesday. So thank you guys so much. Enjoy your evening and have a wonderful Thursday and even better weekend. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great evening.
Have a good one.